taught you. Forget about anything they ever bought you. Cause me and you don't need a lot in this world to get by. Plus you know I got you, you pull me in. I don't resist, time seems to fly but the clock doesn't tick. I crash into you, we both feel a hit. We both feel the way that our chemicals mix. And I wish that if I just keep my eyes shut, maybe this time you'll be enough. So I need the dark. Without you here, I would never see the stars. I'm headed for you. Foot on the gas.
Hell, it's Basetradetv.
Alright guys, it's a black screen and it's gonna be a black screen. Give me a sec, I don't know why this isn't swapping over, but hopefully for now you can hear me. Good morning everybody, and good morning Zombie Grub.
I'm muted. Good morning.
Oh god, I thought that was my end for the moment. Because I'm gonna have to manually swap this over. Okay. It's working. The best is gonna work. I don't know how sick I sound, but I can tell you guys I still feel very sick, but I'm not nearly as bad as I was yesterday. Big thank you to Zombie Grub for covering yesterday's show. I was literally unable to speak. It was that bad.
It's all good. We're about ready to go into the game, so...
Yeah, so we're casting Gumiho versus Zest for you all in the round of 8. And, hang on, what map is this? This is Cerulean Fall. Alright, see you guys on the map. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to some StarCraft 2 to kick off your Tuesday. I'm going to do my best to not sound like I'm sick for as long as I possibly can, but a cough is sure to escape. Spawning here at the bottom left, we have the pink Protoss, Zest.
The top right as the red Terran, the Storm Gaming's Gumiho.
Is it raining?
On the map, yes.
Yes. Huh.
Yeah. It often rains on Cerulean Falls.
I guess I never noticed the small little cute details like that, but hey, I gotta give a big shout out to Rix the Drunk, who started off our stream as the first sub of the day with a Twitch Prime before we're even ready to go, so quick thank you for that. Also, you know what? You gotta be sick of it at this point. We gotta start making some emotes for it, guys, but you've heard it a million times. You'll hear it again. If there's any audio things for the stream, let me know. I didn't really get to run into a bunch of audio checks with Zombie Grub because I was getting ready to go at the very last second, but I think I remember where settings were before, so this should be good, I hope.
One day you'll set it all up and then just hit that new profile button and it'll be all Gucci.
It's not even a profile thing though, like just sometimes you're louder on Zoom than other days, and it's not because your mic's like doing auto adjust or something, it just for whatever reason comes in at an actual different volume level.
Odd. But I feel like I know you don't have it set up for individually for all the casters, so either.
Well, so I have the approximate percentages. You are about 50% even.
Okay.
Tempo, as I learned, I've got to turn all the way down to 20%. Maynard's usually between 60 and 70. And I don't give a fuck what he sounds like, so I just don't even bother with him. Like,
oh, wow. Jeez. Okay. Well, anyways, I did not have a particularly good sleep, and I was... I've been a very, good, healthy human being about going to sleep on time and actually going to sleep, like falling asleep at a fine time. Except that I woke up because of a nightmare, and I hate these nightmares. Like I have it often enough where my cat dies. It woke me up with like literally a heart attack, man. I saw it coming and then I was like, oh, I was awake and my heart was beating like 300 beats per second.
Genuinely sorry to hear that, man. Your cats are cute. I hope no ill will comes to them. But Gumiho's opened up here with a pretty quick Marauder and a Hellion.
That's a little interesting. I mean, if you're going to open up Marauder, usually you add on Marauder slow, and we don't see that.
Well, right, exactly. And it's usually for these more aggressive pushes. And if you're going to argue anything, then maybe it comes down with Hellbats, plural, but there's not even an armory, much less a reactor. So I feel like what Gumiho is doing is less of setup for an attack and more like playing way defensive against Zest for no reason. Like the Reaper got a full scout, and I think he saw the Stargate, right? No. Okay.
No, and Zest is a Twilight Council user. Sounds like he's like a meth user. So...
Well,
like he would be the type of person like walk up with 3 stalkers even on a map with a ramp and then, like see what he can do.
Come on, Gumiho. He's busy watching the Adepts back at home, but that Hellion's got a clear shot to the mineral lines. Big missed opportunity.
I still also think that Marauder slow not being research is also a missed opportunity. It's cheap and it's really fast. So even if you're going to go for like a really fast stim timing off of this, it would already be done.
Okay, so the Hellion could have got maybe 2 or 3 more probes, right? Getting 2's not bad, it's the cost of the Hellion. But it did something even more important, and it brought the Oracle back home, confirming his suspicions that he had not scouted correctly, and also then getting the energy burned away on this side of the map instead of on his. I mean, I agree with you 100%. Like, the Marauder slow being later like this is a little bit odd, but I guess that's the benefit because it does research so quickly. You can afford to get it later without it really screwing you over. But this is so strange in all many different facets of it. So, sorry for context here, guys. This is the monthly finals. There is a lot of money on the line for this, but we're at the part of the year for Korea where there are no more tournaments. There's no GSLs, no super tournaments, no team leagues, no nothing. So there's no builds for Gumiho to hide. But then I'm also wondering if this might be when he decides to experiment. Either way, like maybe he's had this build in his back pocket. I don't know. It's kind of a cool opener. Like, conceptually, I love it, but, like, I'm not seeing it do anything here to make me go, oh, I'm glad he did this opener.
Well, it could have been better against the Twilight Council opener. It's doing a pretty good job against the Adepts, and he's abusing the brush to make it even more successful, which is pretty cool. I mean, triple Oracle, there's not much you can do about that, but the Vikings are doing a decent enough job. I mean, you would have had to get 2 of them, otherwise... One Viking would actually make it to the Oracles, so we'd probably kill the Marauders and still get out if like you're not like right on location. So I'm glad he got 2 Vikings. Like he's responding appropriately, but he's also doing something really weird.
If he wasn't building 2 barracks for the reactors specifically, I would say I thought Gumiho had lost the bet, and he had to play a game without Marines or something. Like it's just so weird. But I'll transfer this over in a second and start that production up.
I'm actually starting to really like the Marauders, but I do wonder, like, it's at this point, it's not just the Marauders that are weird. It's the really fast 3rd CC on location, which he got away with, and now he can just lift if there is a lot of pressure. But then also double engineering bay, which is really not, you know, you'd have to be going for a greedy build already to do double engineering bay. So I guess in that vein, it makes sense. But the point is, like, those production facilities could have been faster, could have had more factory production, which is something that's still helpful around this time. Because Zest is pushing, right? Like, that's the most important thing right now. He's pushing. He wants to actually hurt Gumiho for this opener that looks like a little bit weird, but manage to kill all of his Adepts, manages to make his Oracles not do any damage. And I feel like this should do something. Like, Zest is putting a lot into this, and I'll have Blink with it, too.
Well, one of mine trades out for a Stalker. That's not too bad. I think once Stim's done, the trigger's there for those Marines and Marauders to get in. I mean, the Command Center really shouldn't die here, but Gumiho he's not even trying to repair it. He lifts it really late. I'm so confused. He's going to lose a 3rd CC.
I guess he didn't... I mean, as soon as you see the sentries on this side of the map, you should know it's pretty serious. So that might have just been like a, oh, I didn't even know you could do this type thing, where he just was actually shocked. I don't know. This has been a weird game overall, but that was just a bad weirdness. Not have lost that 3rd CC.
I picked a whole bouquet of whoopsie daisies, as both American Dad and Maynard like to say. But Vikings land on the other side of the map, hoping to find some probes to kill. They would have killed probes very quickly, but in this case did not, sadly. I love Widow Mines. I love Terrans who use Widow Mines well. TY is one of my favorite guys to reference for this. but Gumiho has not had a lot of success with him just yet. And unfortunately, while Marauders are typically very good against Stalkers, there's not that many of them. Oh no, picking up like that's so bold. He knows Blink's on cooldown, but like, not worth.
Yeah, that was dangerous. Like, Gumiho would have really sick production, and I guess he's still barely scraping by with, mules in effect and still a high worker count. But if he had a 3rd CC also running, like, he is on, like, sick production. That was on location about as fast as you can get it, and he would be overwhelming with bio. But as it is right now, yeah, like, the Marauder count's really not high enough that I'm they automatically beat these Stalkers. And these aren't even upgraded Stalkers, yet I would still say that the Stalkers beat Gumiho's army. Because combat wasn't done.
I mean, a lot of this really is Gumiho playing very differently has made us raise a lot of question marks, but the other part of it too is like Zest going just like purely mass blink Stalkers is so weird against a player who you saw going Marauders. He's
like, I see your Marauders, I see your double upgrades, I don't need them. It's fine. I don't need this. Which is really, really odd.
Also, just excuse me one awkward second here, guys. I forgot that I was playing. Turn off mouse scrolling. God, that's annoying when you're observing, but... have you given this week's mutation a shot, by the way?
Oh yeah, I defeated that super easily.
Yeah, I thought after last week's it was fairly relaxing, actually.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, relaxing, I guess.
I played Tychus and Rattlesnake's AoE heal thing, just like out heals the Black Plague damage on everything, so...
Oh, really?
You just like throw it down and your ally's army's good to go too.
Yeah, it was difficult.
I was actually just asking because historically you've had a bad interaction with that mutation and your workers.
Oh my god. This is like, it's just not true though. It's like one time in not even like a mutation based around Black Plague. It was a Wheel of Misfortune mutation. We got both missiles and Black Plague, and they hit my SCV line, and they all got killed. It's like the one time in literally a random mutation.
I did like last week, though, where they introduced something new. Again, it's nice seeing them continue to evolve the co-op quote-unquote meta, I suppose. I want to see more combos of that, though. The silence thing was really tough to fight against.
Yeah, especially with Propagators having it. Anyways, this like Zest's army, when you look at the supplies, actually, it doesn't look as big as it does when it faces off against Gumiho, and I guess because it's full of like fat Stalkers, I guess. But like, technically, I'm looking at this, and like we have 2-2 on the way for Gumiho. Gumiho's army should absolutely win if there's no storms, and there's no storm, not yet. Anyways.
Yeah, especially when it's Protoss, they've got Chrono Boost, the freedom that Zest has had too, where Gumiho hasn't really got to his base till just now. Like, I'm surprised Zest upgrades are so far behind, to be honest. Even once he pumps out this 1-1, it's still a full 1-1 behind.
Yeah, it does go back to that faster engineering base, sure, but like I'm guessing in most in most other games, it's only like half an upgrade behind.
Oh, Storm's coming in, but way too late. Most of the army's already fought those Stalkers. Zest's army crumbles. He's not even got energy for Storms. Those Templar fall apart. They turn into Archons. The SCVs were pulled totally unnecessarily. And Gumiho wins this fight. It wasn't even close. What was this game?
This game was so, like, it started off, and I'm prepared to be like, you know, Gumiho's a brilliant guy, and he did this really cool build. And I still think he did a cool build. But then they both did really stupid things.
Right, exactly. Like, Zest, I feel like, you know what happened here? I just finished casting Rough for the Psystorm Cup stuff this weekend. And what we saw out of Rough was, like, not his crazy innovative builds, but his weird builds confused his enemies so that they played poorly against him. And I feel like we got a touch of that here with Gumiho.
So, like, part of Gumiho's build was losing the 3rd CC, so Zest was, you know, under a false sense of security.
Going for this weird Marauder opening, losing your CC, letting your opponent get cocky, and then striking into the heart of your enemy when he's paying the least attention.
Yes. The mastermind, Gumiho, is at it again.
So there's 2 people mentioning lag in chat, but I don't see any dropped frames. Is there any issue going on with the stream, guys? Let me know and I can take a look at it. But the Olimoleague For those who are unaware, I guess I'm going to assume with this many viewers, we either got hosted or we got on the front page. I don't know which, but hello. And for the StarCraft fans out there or the non-StarCraft fans who don't normally watch, excuse me. This tournament has 3 or so weekly cups worth about $200 and then a monthly finals worth 500 or more. And that's what we're currently casting today. So all the 8 players were invited based off of their results from the previous weeks. So it's not like Zest or Gumiho or like these awkward guys who just lucked into the bracket. This was just a genuinely weird game.
Yeah, it was. I don't know. I mean, the 2 biggest things was Gumiho losing a 3rd CC. It should have automatically picked up and saved, and then Zest taking that fight. But then you really could say that Zest doing the build he did in general was also weird. I mean, your point about Stalkers versus Marauders is not incorrect. There is that time where, like, there's the more production for Protoss and it tips back over, and it had tipped back over and he still did it. I'm not supposed to be playing. Excuse me. Pardon me.
Wrong name. Sir. All right, well, good of you to catch that. I wasn't going to notice that. I was just going to send us into Blue Shift, which, by the way, is the map. So
that's why I wasn't letting you play the map intro. I was like, well, we're not possibly going to go. Like, I'm still in the player spot.
All right, so we'll get this swapped up. We'll get this fixed up. It's still Zest versus Gumiho. These are best of 3s, but there's best of 5s to come. We'll see you guys in game. All right, we're back in game number 2, and looks like we have found the source. I didn't miss some super sick host that I needed to give a shout out to. I had just simply missed that we're on the front page, apparently. So, hey, big thank you to Twitch for putting us up there, and hello, everybody who is being forced to watch StarCraft against their will. You're watching an epic game that's sure to start right now. In the top right, we've got the pink Protoss Zest.
In the bottom left, as the red Terran, he is Gumiho.
And I think I see what people are saying. I may have, when we had that big issue with the scene switcher earlier, yes, it also cropped your zoom box. I can actually go fix that now. It'll take 2 seconds. So no, guys, Zombie Grub is not half the size she normally is. Our program just sucks. Well, would you know? Because, like, I know you say that it's like, obviously in terms like, oh, I wish I could lose some weight or something, but it's like, if you had to, like, lose 40% of your body, you could pick where from, but 40% of your body, so maybe your shins are missing or something, right? Like, which part would you pick?
Like, I'd still be overweight everywhere else. Like, I'm not winning on a technicality when I go to the doctor and step on the scale and they're like, well, ma'am, now you're the perfect weight because you no longer have feet.
You're missing a thigh.
So I'm going to go with no, it's not worth.
But what I'm saying is, if you selectively pick, you had to.
Okay, so it's like a jigsaw type of, like, you have to pick something to cut off, so like your choice.
Yeah.
Kind of messed up. Okay. I would probably go with my feet, actually. Yes, because my legs barely work for me right now, anyways. So, just getting used to the style already, the lifestyle.
Wow. Well, if I had to chop off the equivalent amount, I'd just chop off my dick.
Would you really?
No. I realized how much that backfired as soon as I tried to make the joke about it being big, and then I'm like, you know what? You're still chopping it off, so it doesn't matter. Like,
compared to like 2 feet, and I mean, I guess 2 feet, regardless of the feet size, it's still kind of big. But still, I'm just like,
it's impressive, specific. But it's on the table. You can't use it anymore.
It's oddly specific, and yeah, you won't be able to use it. So.
Yeah, so my joke backfired. I get it. All right. Also, guys, I know that we just asked about some lag earlier. Right now, we are getting Korean on a little bit, and what that means is that, no, you're not lagging, and no, I'm not lagging, but we're going to see a little bit of stutter because of the StarCraft Korea server just sucking butts. Oh, this is really bad for Gumiho, by the way. Like, this is his third SCV on that command center going down. It's almost at the point where it would have been worth just canceling. That's almost 200 minerals gone through SCVs.
Well, it's almost 150. I don't know your math me down.
Well, if that SCV died.
Wait, isn't that the third SCV?
No, 3 have died. This is number 4.
Oh, okay, my bad then. That's my bad.
Lady, there's a big number 3 next to dead SCVs on the left side of the screen.
Not when I was looking. It already disappeared. Wait, really? I thought it was too slow. I literally did not catch that one. But anyways, I don't know about canceling the command center. That would be a little extreme.
Well, I mean, how many SCVs are you willing to lose before it would have been worth it, right? Like, I'm not saying that here, because he does finish it, it's not worth canceling, obviously. But, man, that was getting really dicey. Repair on that Cyclone, trying to keep it alive. Not quite. This other one looking for the double kill. Trades out for the Stalker.
Oh, okay. Well, that one Stalker's going to win this SCV. We're going to make it 200 minerals. Even. It's going to be right. I got it. Nailed it.
10 out of 10.
Yeah.
The Phoenix follow-up to this is a little strange, by the way. Although having some Phoenix isn't too bad, I do wonder how much Zest is going to invest in this.
Well, once you go for 3, and you don't go for like an Oracle's immediate follow-up to 1, it's a pretty good sign you're going to go into at least 5. And I think I've seen Zest do that. I mean, if this was a different player, I'd say, like, if you're going to go for 5, why not go for just like a little Phoenix style? And we're just like, why not go for all Phoenixes? You know, keep on snowballing. But I don't know. I don't know if Zest is really the type of guy to play Phoenix and what would usually be Adepts. I have not seen him play that since, I don't know, Legacy of the Void launch. I don't know. Like, I really don't know, actually. Unless it's a PvZ, and it's PvZ. Like, it's just like he doesn't really do that very often. Trap does it. He brings it back a lot. But I don't know the last time I've seen Zest do it.
All right, guys. Also, again, just so you guys are aware, while you're seeing little spurts of lag here and there, it's not affecting the players. It is purely at random and inconsistently affecting observers who are not also in Korea. Many of us have complained to Blizzard through various different channels. Hopefully it gets fixed sooner than later. It's just the price we pay to watch this live.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
So Gumiho probably very shocked to see that there are Phoenixes. Last time there was 3 Oracles, and while you could say, like, well, he hasn't seen an Oracle, why would he guess there weren't Phoenixes? He actually had no idea it was even a Stargate. There was just a severe lack of scouting. So, you know, that's usually an okay thing to do. Not against Zest with his 5 Phoenix. No, 4 Phoenix? He only went to 4. Okay, special boy, my bad. But he's not going into Phoenix Adept. Almost lost a Phoenix right there. Good scouting. That could have been a push in other worlds. But
side note to that, as a segue from the special boy comment, if you guys haven't seen the brackets, you can type !! brackets in the chat, but Special is playing against Kira in the top half of the round of 8, and okay, once again, Gumiho is going to bring all the well, not all, but a lot of the SCVs with him, all the boys.
Okie dokie. He's going to have combat shield and sim with this. So
you know, it sucks, though. Bleeding out a lot of Marines from these Phoenix on the way across the map. He's got a very limited amount, but at the same time, I kind of want Zest to make sure he's got enough energy to lift up these 2 tanks and just take them out of the fight. Phoenixes can basically be interference matrices, and oh no, the SCVs are on the wrong side of these force fields.
This just actually doesn't seem like a very good push against what Zest is doing. Zest, his scouting was late. It's not like he knew the SCVs would be pulled, but he's been on 2 bases his entire time. There was no attempt to go to a 3rd or build more than, you know, enough probes. I just feel like his army's better set up than usual.
Everything was on the wrong side of that force field. Gumiho was very distracted by these Phoenix while this goes on. And I mean, 3 tanks is nice, but 3 Immortals is better, I think. There's such a small amount of Marines. I mean, some Terran force fields are being built right now, but those aren't going to last very long.
I mean, Stalkers on the right side get 1 tank, the Phoenix lift the other one, so the Immortals can even get close without getting shot. I don't even know if their Guardian shields or their regular shields have been popped. This is just a complete disaster.
Yeah, Gumiho, you know what? He's like, man, I won game 1 so easily. I feel bad about it. Zest, please take game 2 away from me.
This felt like, so you know how like you learn a build and, well, I don't know about you just do kind of whatever, but you like learn a build.
What? Rude.
I mean,
in front of a
correct me.
bunch of
Am I
new
wrong?
friends
Am
on
I
the front
wrong?
page, and you're gonna roast me like that? Damn.
It's not a roast. It's just a fact. You proxy a Thor, and you're like, I need this much gas, I guess.
Stone fucking cold, zombie grub.
Am I wrong, Rifkin? Am I wrong?
You're not wrong, but damn.
Okay, anyways, you learn a build and you're like, I'm going to use this in every single situation regardless of what happens because you're learning and like macro should get you through anyways. That felt like Gumiho was just like, I don't know what I'm always doing. I have no idea. I know for Stargate. So I'm just going to do this thing. And then there's like no scouting on how big the army was or if there was a third or anything. And he just was like, let's do this.
He Leroy Jenkins is what he did.
I don't know. This is, this.
All right, let's do this.
From two usually pretty like, Gumiho is like a mastermind. He can do some weird things. He's a very smart player, and Zest is usually just like you can kind of depend on him to do the usual stuff. And very like it just feels like a very not. And I don't mean this as bad as it sounds, but it's gonna sound like it doesn't seem like a very smart series. Like they're both playing a little bit funny because they want to have fun, and it's really throwing me off, man.
I'm kind of okay with that though. Like we have a year of serious tryhard, and let's get a little bit of fun, right? Either way, just a small update. Looks like Solar has 2-0 trap while this went on. That's really impressive out of Solar, which is also the guy that the winner of this will be facing off against. Also, Bacon here. Thank you for the 21-month resub during that game. Sorry, missed it. And Pinochle for the 200 bits. Akuma gifted a sub to Zombified Kitty. And I just realized Pinochle drew a penis with the bits. Okay, dude.
That's a penis.
That's a Pinochle.
Good one.
All right, well, with Lost and Found being one of the most classic maps, let's hope that we see a bit more of a classic matchup and not something as strange as we've seen so far. We'll see you guys on the map. So I just watched that clip during the intro, and I stand by my exasperated confusion. Just so rude.
It's like I don't understand how how it's rude. Okay, it'd be rude if like you really tried and you had your little builder notebook and you were just really like
Now you're making fun of my build order notebook. Where does it stop?
Yeah, right.
I haven't. You know what? Look at the stream. There's no delay. I hate you so much right now, Zombie Grub. All right, we're getting into game number 3. Spawning at the top right, we got the red Terran player. Play for Sidestorm Gaming. It's Gumiho.
The bottom left, as the pink Protoss for Scythe Esports, it is Zest.
This little notebook has been so good, and it was like...
What's in the book?
For real, build orders.
Is it really? Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
I was trying to get good at the game, believe it or not.
Oh my god. Well, then I take it all back.
But then, none of the build orders worked, so I just started proxying Thorson to get some cheap wins because it made me feel good.
So I take back my take back because you weren't really trying.
No, I was. It just didn't work.
It's yeah, but that's what's gonna happen when you learn something new. Like you think I gave up the first time I 2-racks Rifkin? Yes.
Yes.
But I came back. Later.
All right, well, this might not be a 2-racks, but it is a proxy gate coming out of Zest, which is, again, really uncharacteristic of Zest. Maybe we're in this fun territory, or maybe they're experimenting. Either way, Zest, I can't say, is like, if Gumiho was doing that weird Marauder thing he did in Game 1, this wouldn't work at all. But...
Yeah. What the fuck? There's a ghost academy. These guys, they're definitely trolling us at this point, all right? They're like, how long does it take for the casters to notice?
I'm telling you, no, they lost the bet. Somebody somewhere made bets with these guys. Like, this isn't match-fixing territory. This is you lost a bet territory.
I mean, you could argue that life just lost a few too many bits.
Ooh, no, zombie grub.
Ooh.
Gumiho, okay, well, here's the thing, right? Whether the Ghost Academy rush was the main part of the plan or not, either way, you do get a tech lab so you can build marauders so you can get these to deal with the stalkers. This is a pain in Gumiho's ass for certain, but a marauder should be out soon, and a marauder can deal with stalkers very easily.
Yeah.
Maybe not 2 at a time, but he's trying to get that bunker finished up, and there's the distraction. Reaper comes home to help out just a little bit. I mean, once he gets inside that bunker, this is an easy hold. But I'm really curious what the plan with the ghost was. Let's pretend this wasn't, like, impeded by a proxy gate of stalkers. What was that ghost going to accomplish? We're kind of past the point where you could just rush this across the map and kill probes.
Well, I think that's exactly what he's going to try and do. It might still work, though, because, like, Zest has no idea what it is. All I know is that he canceled a command center, and he already saw this marauder opener, so he's like, oh, that again? Well, I guess I still got what I wanted.
I see some people in chat guessing nukes, but the thing is you need a factory for a nuke, so this is just in a Ghost Academy for the sake of a Ghost Academy. When no factory started up, we're not seeing, most importantly, even like a medevac. This is just cloak.
It's kind of like sending DTs across the map in PvP, though. Like, especially if they're going to open with a Stargate, which Zest has been doing. There's no robo-opener.
He doesn't even have a skin for the ghost, zombie grub.
I mean, that's really lame, let's be honest.
That's the worst part of this build.
Even if they have one revelation, and they usually don't, because they send the Oracle across the map, and they either use the energy or they don't, but the point is, they got to come back. Ghosts, what, they two-shot probes? I actually forget, but they do a lot of damage. Yep. Yeah, so even one ghost with given 10 seconds, 15 seconds, is going to get a lot of damage done. Supposedly. But you can EMP the Oracle, which is one of the fun things. Like,
yeah,
this
but that
is
takes away a lot of your cloak energy.
It does. It's a trade, but if you were like, if they're trying to rely on like one Oracle, it might be worth it. Well, you see, he's having anything to kill the ghosts.
Well, he lifts them up, but
isn't that just like take away the revelation?
Oh, he's gonna surround it. He's gonna surround it with the probes.
Ah!
Oh, that's so sick.
Sick.
Okay, this is really dumb. Let's be honest, but I'm enjoying it nonetheless.
Yeah. This is a popular build when they were changing ghosts to have new cloak automatically.
You know what? Patch. That was a. I don't know if I'm gonna agree with that, but that was 8 patch. That's for sure. What if Gumiho has actually been hearing Nathanius cry, tears in his eyes, red from the swelling of like rubbing them so much about these proxy openers? He's like, I'll do my boy a solid, and I'll try to play without a proxy.
I mean, if Gumiho's gonna do a lot of, try and wipe away Nathanius's tears, it's gonna have to get like a mop and a bucket because there's a lot of them. Boom. Anyways.
That's my friend you're talking about? Even though I've just made the same joke, I'm now pretending to be very offended on his behalf.
Yeah. He should be. He should get, it's good to be in because he brings you along in those PUBG tournaments.
No, he doesn't. That's his girlfriend he brings with him. Feels bad, man.
Well, he brought you that one time recently.
To Fortnite.
Oh, my bad. Sorry.
So, I was gonna say one of the upsides of the Ghost is it does have an EMP, but the EMP is a little weak. Stim's still pretty good though, and it's mostly Marauder Stalkers left. I think he could take this on if that Marauder is firing, but got lifted up by the Phoenix. And without that proper support structure, he's got to fall back. This is looking really grim for Gumiho.
I think he's fine though.
It's taking so long to his command center. He's gonna have to lift it up again, lest he lose it.
His production.
That's confidence. Drop that mule there.
He's repair.
I'm telling you, if Gumiho had a skin on that ghost, this would be a completely different game. Yeah. Zest would see the ghost and be like, well, I can't tell if it's got cloaking or not, and then they'd have to regame.
Cloak's even a graphical upgrade. What are you talking about?
The bullshit skin argument. Either way,
I was gonna go with, if it was the woman, the regular woman skin, like
the smaller, they're gonna slip through the probes. You're right.
They are weirdly tall. This is like, I feel like if he had just given, okay, well, GG. If he had just given up the natural and waited for a couple rounds of production,
if
Like, his
he
army
had
is
not rushed the
there.
ghost zombie grove,
Or
you're
that.
what ifing the wrong part of the game.
Because his army gets better with time, right? Like, combat troops is gonna finish, and he would have like 16 Marines against what is naked stalkers. Like, I don't know. This is one of those series where I feel like I'm being a little too like, well, they're just playing wrong, because I'm supposed to always give the pro gamers the benefit of the doubt, but I'm like, I don't know, guys.
Oh, sorry, I forgot to mute that one, guys. Well, that's going to wrap up our first series of the day. Top half of the bracket updates. Rogue beat Alive 2-0. Cure and Special are still playing. If you don't know how the Olimoleague works, or you're coming at us from the front page, which, by the way, it's so nice to see you guys here, even if 3,000 of you aren't actually watching. You just flipped on your thing and couldn't. It's, how do I get away from StarCraft? Thank you for being here. We have 2 best of 5s and a best of 7, 2 semifinals and a grand finals. And this is for a $500 prize pool, which is kind of cool. But I think the first one we're doing is Solar versus Zest, because it's ready now. So we're going to go to a scheduled commercial break. We'll throw around 2 minutes of Jack Ryan ads. Him telling you that he can't go to Yemen. He's an analyst. You know the deal. And we'll see you guys in a few. Thank you. I am Yordle for that Twitch Prime sub. And you know what? Even though I uncropped your camera, it didn't save it. You still are ridiculously sized. Let me fix this before I go to break.
That's what I noticed when you yelled at me.
I took the time to tab out of that game to do this. I'm very upset right now. We're on the front page, OBS, embarrassing us in front of new people. Okay, the theme of the day. We'll see you guys in 2 minutes. All right, folks, we're back. I was hoping to actually just send us right into the game, but we're in the lobby. I guess Crank's finishing up his commercials too. He says in 24 seconds we'll go. That's way too specific to be anything else other than commercials finishing. And there you go. All right, we'll hop into Blue Shift. It's a brand new best of 5. It's Solar versus Zest. Welcome back. We are getting into Blue Shift. You're watching the first of 2 semifinals matches. This best of 5 begins in the bottom left. Let me swap that name in the overlay because it's the red Zerg, Solar.
In the top right, as the pink Protoss, it is Zest.
By the way, I had the weirdest trip down nostalgia lane this morning. So some of you may have seen this, many probably didn't, but before we were live, I was hosting an Australian streamer I found out about a month ago. She's super weird and super funny, Knight Sinclair, but I realized after catching with my ear, she's using all of the exact same copyright-free music we used on Basetradetv before I could afford to buy music. So like the same like bye-bye copyright YouTube channel songs. I'm like, I know that song, I use that song. This was our like intro for this map, this was our intro for that map type thing. And it really sent me down like this weird memory lane. So I went to dig up all our map intros. And I'm so sad that I didn't keep more of them better, like, up on YouTube or something, because some of them are lost forever. Like, I'll never find our Overgrowth intro ever again type thing.
Oh, that's pretty sad.
But luckily, I could find Catalina. That was easy enough.
I mean, that's one of your highest you to do, so.
You know what we really should do is have a tournament that does feature, like, a very special, like, map pool. Not of any weird, crazy maps, but like of the fan favorites from the year, right? Like whether it's the memes of like Catalina or like people just enjoying Overgrowth, stuff like that. Like an actual dream pool tournament type thing, not a nightmare pool.
Yeah, I guess. I wonder if there'd be a substantial difference between pooling players and pooling the audience.
That could be interesting, and you just pick maps that actually cross over between the two.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
You weren't here for it, but when I had to cancel one of the Tin Cups, we had a show match, Crater versus, I think it was like Cure. And I told them, look, you guys can pick any map from any history of StarCraft 2. So we let the fans pick the first one, and they wanted like, oh god, what's that really small green one from like season 1 of like Wings of Liberty?
Small green one. Oh, the one that they always play, like, was a co-op mutation?
Yeah, the versus map. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I don't remember what it was called, though.
Steps of War. Thank you, guys, I think. Anyways, we did that, and both players immediately were like, what the fuck? Why this map? And then they started doing the Korean, like, symbol for laughing or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
I was so ready for them to pick some nice maps, but every map they picked was just the latter. Like Lost and Found and Blue Shift and Parasite, etc.
Yeah, not very out of the ordinary guys right there. But anyways, we do have adepts going in to both the natural and the main, but there's a tiny difference, right? Where this could have done even more damage potentially. I mean, 3's not bad, but because he like denied the natural, it was forced to be taken at the third base. I mean, there's a chance that there just wasn't anything protecting the drone line in the natural, which was kind of the case. That's why he even got the drone kills that he did. It's also cleaned up, and I don't know if 3 was enough.
Well, the Lings go for the counterattack, but realizing that the wall is up, and barely so, he decides to fall back. Oracle's not going to get much done with the Queen's on high alert. Nicely responded to here out of Solar. We didn't really talk about odds going into this, because Zest and Solar is actually kind of an iconic matchup nowadays. Solar, Dark, and Sue are like the big bad 3 Zergs in Korea. Might be the only Zergs in Korea sometimes, depending on if Rogue is, well, if he's playing in form or not. And that's a little bit rude to say, but recently Rogue has not looked that great. Same with the Impact, which is the only reason I don't mention him in that triad, but definitely other Zergs I've loved in the past. Point is, Solar is up there right now. I think he's in the top ranks of things, and he's always been a pretty solid player, so it's weird to think about it, but I kind of actually favor Solar versus Zest a little bit. But that's only like because Zest is playing a little bit weird today, and I'm not sure if we're going to see him play standard. But this match, the opening so far, the damage he's done, it's looking like maybe that series versus Gumiho was just like a bit of a meme.
I mean, it looks that way. He just responded to the way his opponent was playing. He's soaking in the style, and Solar's doing something totally normal. He's going for a faster single evolution chamber without a Roach Warren, but it's not that fast, so I don't think this is like a typical, 20-30 Ling +1 melee on the third base. It might be a little bit later. Yeah, I mean, he might try it. It might do well, but it also probably is just more about getting to that +2 melee eventually. That'll shebang. But we have 20 Lings in the way, so Zest is going to have to make sure to have the the Oracle's the Adept scouting this. Like, either one, to have them in proper place back at the third, or that's going to be a cancel.
Well, it confirms that a lot of the Queens are up at the front line, not in the main base. He tries to get in here. It's a little bit greedy because the Oracles are so bloody low. Oh my god, one health. One actual health on this Oracle, and it gets out alive.
Nice. Well, time to skedaddle back to the third base. The Adepts ran back to the natural, but there's so many of them that it does seem like they're going to be able to kind of guard each other, and that'll be good enough. These Lings do not have +1, and this is a successful hold. It seems so like not important because nothing's happening, but there was, I feel like, a bit of intention for Solar to either find, the third Nexus would have been great, or maybe the Sentries, left alone, instead they find 2 Adepts, and it's not even that fantastic of a trade for them. All right. The third base being up and ready to go, got probes being built. Solar did delay his lair quite a bit, so I mean, there's drones to be extra drones to be made when he made those extra 20 Lings. It's still a very even worker count, so I mean, 20 Lings didn't do anything. Slower lair gave him only slightly a benefit. We're in a double Robo Immortal now, and it's in a Ling Baneling Hydra. I think Twilight Council's on the way. Zest is not playing super to his standard. He usually likes the Archon drops and Blink Stalkers in the PvT matchup, but he is playing typical Protoss.
It's funny you say typical Protoss, because I wonder if Zest will lean towards Colossus at all. Last few games I've been casting at people, we've been blessed with Colossus. I kind of have enjoyed seeing them come back, but I'm also vastly and quickly reminded of how weak they can be when there's like a Viper, a couple Corruptors. So I think once he sees these Hydras, we'll see whether he makes that choice or not. Going Storms is perfectly fine though, right? Storm, Zealot, pretty classic moves to make. Okay, so Zest likes to live very dangerously. I would not want to be an Oracle in his army.
Right? We have a full wall at the third base, which is always it can be a bit of a
like it.
Security. I mean, you can like it. It's fine. It's great when the Banelings can't roll in, and then it's not great when the Hydras with their range chip away at your production. And you're like, oh.
Well, so that's specifically why. I don't know if Zest, he's so sick that he clicked on the Zergling and saw it earlier, but he saw the melee upgrade get cranked out pretty quickly. He assumes it's +2 because Banelings one-shot probes at that point. Whether it's dropping them through an Overlord or just rolling them through a run-by, either way, this eliminates the chances that they so easily grab all those probes. Right? But you're right, too. It doesn't take more. He's built 6 more Banelings to actually roll through the gateways. Who cares then? Either way, for now, while he's focused at home and he's not dancing on the other side of the map with the Warp Prism or these Oracles, I really like it.
We have a Spire on the way. What's about the ground army?
Okay. I was going to say, the other part of the gateway, though, that is less exciting is this could easily be torn down by the Hydras. Nothing with enough range over here to fight that off. The Lings obviously wouldn't want to run in, but we'll see what he does. 11 Mutas get started up in production and eats up the entirety of Solar's bank, so...
Oh.
That's an expensive amount.
Oh, Zest did literally scout the Spire. Okay. That's really good intuition by Zest. No, he just saw it, so second Stargate's on the way and he's building Phoenix. I mean, you only really need 5 Phoenix, and then you can kind of, if you're really, really good, you can just try and control that while you, more importantly, pay attention to this fight. So the Hydras who come forward, range is pretty good for the Storm, but, you're not going to be getting the best Storm hits, and you also make sure you don't use too many not to get the Banelings, so, yeah, he's going to maybe engage with that army, decides not to. He might just have to give up some production. That's the problem of this type of wall-off.
Oh, these Templar from the backside, desperately throwing on that Storm, scared of the Mutas. Can't really do anything about this, though. If he gives chase, he opens up a big hole on that bottom side with those gateways opening up. He doesn't have a lot of great anti-air right now. The Phoenix are just now coming out, but even then, 3 Phoenix, unless he plays with these micro perfectly, they're not going to deal with all the Mutas.
He's without 5, and I think that's a pretty perfect number. But when someone's not committing.
5 will do wonders. I was just saying 3's got to be a little more cautious, but then at the same time, Solar flies into a cannon, and I guess we missed a Baneling hit down here because, oh my god, 39 probes are suddenly dead.
There's no way the Mutas did that much damage.
I'm just surprised. There's cannons, there's a shield battery, and he still got these through.
He transferred from the natural to the third, which ended up being a real big mistake too. I think is what happens.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, because I was like, that's like what,
that number should have been like 18. That number should have been like 20, not 39.
Yeah,
Jesus.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, you know what? Maybe they weren't that effective in terms of damage, but they were really effective in terms of a distraction, because if that never happened, I don't think that many probes die.
I mean, the mutas ended up being successful, even though they kind of weren't. Like, they pulled the probes to the third base. The Banelings rolled in. That gateway wall had been cut down. This is not a one game by Solar. I mean, Zest was on 4 bases pretty much as he wanted to be. Like, there was really nothing stopping that. So he's rebuilding the probes rather quickly, but that was a huge blow at a time where Zest was really almost at that critical point of like enough Archons, enough Storms. He's just not quite there yet.
Banelings roll through from the backside too while this goes on. He's desperately trying to lift them, but maybe my prediction about Solar winning this isn't so crazy after all.
Well, it's definitely not crazy. Zest is not the... I mean, his EV, I guess his PVZ was not his particular highlight. Like, it was that PVT period
Really?
where he was just, like, super... I mean, in my opinion, it was the PVT, like, 2 years ago where he was just always winning it. That was the most highlight of his career. His PVZ's not bad, but, I mean, there was that, and then his PvP is always standard. His PVZ, even though it's very good, was actually always, like, tertiary to me.
I guess I always think back to Zest, like, really setting the standard for the Archon drops and things like that. So maybe you're more right about it, but my memory is just like, this guy set the standard for the matchup. So for me, I always think he's great at it, but I wouldn't... That might be reaching too far back.
No, I don't think so. I think it's a... This is one of those, you know, memory things. It's very personal to each of us, but yeah. His PVZ has had, I think, worse times as he's like, you know, he lost out and was started to really just lose every single one. But he also was losing a lot at one point because he just simply was in a slump.
Well, one thing we've also seen is like Zest less than stats and less than trap. Like, he doesn't seem to go for that super Stargate mega late game army that we know a lot of Protoss players to do. And evidenced here because he was focused a lot more on the Robo and the Templar tech. He's got the 2 Stargates, but I mean, the Fleet Beacon only came down forever later and is only for the mothership. He's not looking to make carriers out of this. Maybe a Tempest or 2.
Yeah. Well, he definitely has to make some Tempests, and he is going to be forced to go into an air army as we get to Broodlords. Like, Zest might have taken over 30 probes worth of damage and maybe some more here, but he was on 4 bases and he held each consecutive attack after that. So he's actually cushy. Reach's loss is not great, but it's definitely workable, so he's getting to that later attack.
Oh, no.
Damn it.
You spoke too soon, Zombie Grub. We're about to praise the resources lost, and then all these lings run into the main base. It's Phoenix here to respond with a cannon, though, so he should be able to deal with this. But still, after the probe losses he took earlier, the last thing he wants to do right now is build even more of them. It's
still, again, one of those... If he's so close to being close to max out, you know, so that, you know, if he loses probes, he's like, I was banking anyways. And it's just not quite there every time these lings or banlings happen. But if he is fine for the next 2 or 3 attacks, like, the Protoss army is going to be rather good defensively. Because it does have some Tempests on the way.
So we got these fights going on, right? But check out Zest's vision while we do this, and look at the minimap specifically. He hasn't scouted in so long, yet he had the foresight to consider making Tempest, knowing that Broodlords were on the way. Like, there's a certain pacing to the matchup, and Zest definitely knows that. And this is so sick, because he's been playing defensively, he's had no time. Most players wouldn't have time to think about the next step of the game, while they're desperately holding on to the current state of the game. But Zest is actually making this transition at the same time Solar's getting towards those Broodlords.
Yeah. He's getting the pacing of the game down. And otherwise, this is kind of normal for a Protoss player. Even if they have a Warp Prism, they're not cleaning up creep, and they're probably not doing a lot with the Warp Prism because they're just under so much pressure. So this is just a normal state of Protoss, constant anxiety, I guess. At any minute, you could be overwhelmed, and actually getting the high Templars that are supposed to be more Storms, forcing Archons is pretty good for Solar.
Ooh, big family connections up on the top side. I mean, the thing is, the Zest army, yeah, it's not faltering, right? He's not sitting here dropping down a 20 army supply like we so classically see with poor Protoss players who are fending off these attacks. Solar is throwing body after body after body, and I think over these last couple of engagements, he started to make it look a little bit better, but he's still just wasting so much more money with these attacks than Zest is defending them.
He's so close to one-shotting Broodlords. But, you know, this Corruptor is getting a little too far forward, going for the mothership.
Fall back.
I mean, maybe that's a worthwhile, like, sacrifice. Oh my god, what is happening?
The Archons are dealing a ton of damage to the Broodlings, but they're not really directly hitting the Corruptors. There was so much awkward splash damage. I think if he had focused the Corruptors, they would have all died for sure.
Yes, I do agree, but... okay, so it all comes down to the remax, right? Like, as far as this trade goes down, one person saves their capital ships, the other person doesn't, but then both of them lose a lot of their ground army. And I guess I spoke too soon about the capital ships. Corruptor's still in play. I think Zest now going down below 100 supply is probably just out of luck in this game.
Yeah, he's dead to money, if nothing else. So it's just going to flood Lings or Hydras. It doesn't matter. The point is he'll throw bodies at Zest till he's gone. With Zest not mining off of this base, and now he's transferring some probes over, like, that's why he has no money. That's why he has no army. GG's. Solar takes game 1 in the series.
GG.
And your camera didn't get uncropped this time. I'm so happy right now.
I tried. I really tried.
Thank you. Thank you for trying so hard, Zombie Grub. Anyways, guys, it's a best of 5, and it's loser's pick, so Solar will, or excuse me, Zest will have the selection of the next map. But what you should know is the Olimoleague does not use all 7 maps in the map pool. They typically remove 2 every season, so there's only 5 to pick and choose from. We got Blue Shift, Cerulean Fall, Fracture, Lost and Found, and Parasite as the 5 maps available for play.
Yeah, no Acid Plant,
Also,
no Dreamcatcher.
Whoa, this is a huge deal to me on the bracket. Special beat Cure 2-1. Special goes on to fight against Rogue. I think Special can beat Rogue, but what blows me away is Cure just lost to TVT. I don't care that it's Special or Gumiho or Innovation. Cure just lost to TVT.
He's pretty good at that matchup, but Special, I feel like, has always been capable of taking the Koreans on. So...
Yeah, well, I mean, we know that too because the Koreans have they've vocally lamented about not wanting to play against Special in tournaments. But yeah, so those who are asking, Rogue and Special will be up next. That match is being held. It's not playing right now. That'll be our next series that we cast. So it's this, the other semifinals, then the grand finals. And my goal today is just survive to the end if I can. I know I'm not doing perfect, and some of the coughing is making it through the stream, and I'm sorry, guys. I am definitely not 100%, but giving it my best here. Anyways, we're going to hop into Fracture for the game. See you guys on the map. Guys, well, we got a regame on our hands because Solar selected Terran. He was the wrong race.
So we were talking, you guys didn't hear this, but during the little intro, talking about the BlizzCon, you know, eventually releasing all their stuff for BlizzCon, like the store-wise. And so I was on the website, and they have a Zenyatta, who, even though I don't play Overwatch anymore, I still think is like my favorite character. And I don't like it!
Oh. I thought this was going somewhere nicer than that.
No, it's not. First, they don't give us StarCraft shit, and then they give me bad Zenyatta shit. Blizzard, why? It's like it's not the cool like statue that costs like $200. It's one of those like posable ones. I don't know, $80.
I will say what really disappoints me. Like I don't mind that the StarCraft stuff isn't the best. It always feels uninspired. Like they put effort into the other ones, and they're like, "All right, well we can't just not do StarCraft. I don't know, slap a fucking logo on it, call it a day."
They literally hire Nicolas Chassois to like do all the really cool like art for the pro gamers, and it's just like,
oh shit,
we're not gonna use it.
Okay. STK Darkling, thank you for the 1,000 bits, dude. We'll see you guys on Fractured. Thanks again for the bits. Also, we missed it, or I missed it, or whatever. You're Dead 60. You're Dead 666. Thank you for the 21-month resub. And I Am Yordle was a Prime sub, and One Monkey is Crazy resub for 2. I don't know how I missed so many of these. Jesus. Thank you guys for that subbing support. But we're getting into game 2 of this best of 5, and he did win the first map through just money. It's in the bottom right, Solar. Confirmed pay to win.
In top left, as the pink Protoss, he is Zest.
I didn't really hate the way Zest was playing that game. I liked a lot of his moves. He had some pretty good reaction times, but I really think that it wasn't even the 40-something probes that killed him. It just was unfortunate what started the downward spiral of him having no money to keep up with after losing such expensive units. Like, when he was trading out and losing a Templar here and there, you know, an Archon to the run-bys, like, that's not so bad to replace. But a Mothership, 4 Tempests, like, these are slow, expensive units that are not so easily replaced.
Definitely true. And even if they could be replaced, money-wise, it would be a long process, longer than Zerg. So you really just had to have a better fight. So, and that's where like 40 probes, I don't know, 40 times 50, whatever that is, right? 2,000? Not gonna try. Anyways.
Let's say sure and call it a day.
It's, yeah, it's a lot more. It's a maxed out Protoss army. You know, maybe there's a 5th and 6th Tempest. Maybe there's 3 Void Rays already to help out versus the Corruptors. Certainly more on the grounds. Yeah, that was a game of one pretty nice stab wound and a lot of other cuts, and then eventually Protoss just bled out. Now Zest chooses the smallest map in the map pool, which usually doesn't favor the Protoss. I guess you could make some arguments in the other matchups, and like ZVP, the Zerg could choose it because they want to do like a pool first, something like that, like they want to all in. But for Protoss, usually they it's either medium to big maps because they have weapons anyways, or it's Zerg chooses this map basically. So I don't know what Zest's plan is here. Maybe he likes the kind of quote unquote defender's advantage you get from the 3 bases on this map, all being on the high ground. But I don't know. I mean, he's gonna go for Resident Glaives, and I think that's what makes the most sense to abuse a short map.
Well, I hate to do these disclaimers, but just once again, for the new folks who are coming in, for the most part, it looks pretty smooth, but these random stutters you see, which I know I'm just bringing more attention to by mentioning them, it's not Twitch, it's not me, it's not my client, it is just StarCraft 2 in the Korean server derping out sometimes, once in a while.
Yes, it's very unfortunate. I was wrong. So I saw a Twilight Council and I just assumed, but he goes into a Robo and then a Dark Shrine. This doesn't really abuse the map at all, but it is abusing the expectations of a Zerg player. And let's not forget that Solar went for like a 530 layer last game. Zest might have noticed that, but I don't know. Like Solar was not bound, like he was not guaranteed to do that more than once in a series, honestly, because it's just like it's a really quite a late layer. And then not only does it go for a faster layer this game, much faster. He's probably on a Nidus Worm. He also goes for a Roach Warren, so he would have been like defended against the depths too.
Game paused.
Oh, a little bit of a pause. So my context for what I'm about to say comes from having watched Creator quite a bit lately, and unfortunately not a lot of variety from Protoss. But one thing that I've been seeing with this Dark Shrine is they're going in for kills with the DTs first, right? And that's not a wrong move. Sometimes that does really well. But in the last few times I've witnessed this, it's like you would have just been better off making the Archons. Like, don't bother with the DTs. So I wonder which way Zest plans to go about it. But kind of a bit of a throwback to our first game discussion. This build, though, is the way Zest innovated this matchup. Every Protoss player copied this opener for so long.
They did, yeah. I don't remember if Zest was the creator of it or if he was just the perfecter. I honestly can't remember. It's always hard to really attribute it to anyone.
Something is making a really annoying beeping sound. I gotta go look into this really quick. I'm putting the camera on you for in case it unpauses. Be back here in just... Well, I hope not.
I knew thee well.
My roommate's gone. It's weird. I haven't lived alone in like a while. Forgot how awesome it is to just not wear clothes around the house.
Game resumed.
Cool. Anyways, you could check that out. So, okay. So, funnily enough, Rifkin says like he hasn't seen a lot of the DTs work. Like, I'm casting different games. Like, I've actually seen a lot of the DTs work. So, there's always that chance that like Solar doesn't build any units, even though he builds an Overseer and Spore Crawlers, and he still gets it sniped. I think it's a third base sniped, and it's still very worthwhile. But there is that whole idea that even if this quote unquote fails as DTs, like the Archon drop is still solid. It was the go-to build for like a year in this matchup. But as I said, like I thought Solar got like a really fast lair. Much faster. It was complete opposite of last game. And while he's not going to go for a Nidus Worm, he is definitely building roaches, getting fast roach speed. So there's probably an attack in mind, but he has to deal with the DTs first.
And these DTs get into such a sweet time. There's just nothing here for this.
No, there isn't. He's like just building the roaches. And yeah, with the Warp Prism, you just take out the queens. There's not many of them because it ended up not being a Nidus Worm. But I mean, So's going to rebuild the drones, so he was never going to be aggressive, I guess. Now he's just taking damage, and I mean that faster lair was supposed to hide, like save him from this.
Ooh, now this is a zesty of Zest things to do. Double Archon drops with double drops, so quadruple Archon drops, I guess you could say. But that's a lot of damage, and Solar's thinking, all right, you know, I'm fending off his one not so bad, right? But then another one comes into his third base where he doesn't really have much of anything to defend. Just the roaches that just spawned recently. And here in the mineral line to try and defend this. Queen gets chased down pretty quick. All he's got to do is keep the Archons alive. And he's all Gucci. So far, Zest has taken almost no losses from this. In fact, the Archon over here, ooh.
His Archons.
A little low. He's got to be careful. But he's babysitting it well.
Yeah, he's getting overlords, queens, drones. Like everything is working out well for Zest, and he still has these 2 War Prisms. Even on a small map, it's really scary for Solar to try and move out, even if he thinks he has an opportunity to.
And of course, behind this, Zest is building up an anti-roach army, right? Like, you're getting these Archons in, keep them alive for the main army fight afterwards. They've softened up the defenses of Solar, who's been focused here, so he's not doing anything. How about Zest just getting away with a third and building a lot of Immortals back on the other side of the map, and just dropping these off in the mineral line. I mean, just by splash damage and chance, he's going to kill drones if they continue mining, so Solar has to pull off of that. Which, by the way, credit to Solar, he's done a great job minimizing his worker losses. But this still did a lot more damage than I think he wanted it to.
Oh, totally. I don't know what his original plan was for this map, but I think it's been thrown way out of whack. So now he's forced to just re-drone, and now he's just going to try and drone up to 3, probably 4 bases. He adds on a Spire. You know, he's been doing a lot of Spire play, so this is like kind of in the norm, but it's also maybe because he wants to take care of the flipping Warp Prisms.
I think it's not a bad choice. What's really kind of crazy, though, is I just looked at the actual losses. 17 workers is a lot, yeah, but it's like 3 queens and 11 roaches to go with that. That's where all that money comes from.
Look at the resources lost.
Yeah.
That is definitely something that Zest was, like, as I said, I don't know if he invented or he perfected it, but Zest has a lot of games where he starts off with, like, 0 resources lost.
Well, it's kind of like, was it, what, like, Ryong actually invented the 2-on-1, but Byun perfected it, so everyone's, like, credited to Byun. Zest, whatever the boat may be, he's got all the knowledge. People know that he made this look good. And with this, we got, it's just such a good anti-roach army.
Yeah. And Solar, you know, he kind of wasted, quote unquote, 200 on the Spire. He was hoping to buy a little more time and get a couple of mutas out. Maybe it did kick at least one of the War Prisms, but now it's all about the Roach Ravager defense, and he does have the choke with the rocks broken down on his side. It's just too good of an anti-roach army.
Yeah, super sick force fields, really great Warp Prism micro too. Yeah, some of the crystal battles are actually connecting, but not enough for it to really matter. The +1 weapons is just like salt in the wound for this. There's more reinforcements coming from that secondary Warp Prism, so he's warping in with one, he's microing with the other. Oh, Zest is so good. He ties up this series 1-1.
That's a smackdown.
It is. All right, folks, we're going to quickly squeeze in a 2-minute commercial break. I hope you can bear with us for a moment. We'll get into game number 3 as soon as we can, as, things are tied up. See you soon.
statue. Your heart is a magnet, I'm coming at you. Girl, you're my target, I'm aiming at you. You're a comet, I'm trying to catch you. We can break any rule they ever taught you. Forget about anything they ever bought you. Cause me and you don't need a lot in this world to get by. Plus you know I got you, you pull me in. I don't resist, time seems to fly but the clock doesn't tick. I crash into you, we both feel a hit. We both feel the way that our chemicals mix. And I wish that I just keep my eyes shut. Maybe this time you'll be enough. So I need the dark. Without you here, I wouldn't never see the stars. I'm headed for you. Foot on the gas. I'm coming straight at you, no looking back. You are my star. We are connected, misdirected to the high. You are my star. We are connected, misdirected to the high. Then we collide.
All right, folks, we're back in time for Parasite. It's still a best of 5. That much hasn't changed. Things are tied up 1-1. Spawning here in the lower right side, we got the pink Protoss Zest.
In the top left, as the blue Zerg, he is Solar Infinity Gaming, I believe is what his clan is.
So someone in Twitch chat asks Zombie Grub if she can ratata, which she replies for $50. But I'm here to tell you guys, you can actually get her to do it for 300 bits. And Wardy will do it for 301.
Shush. I almost had him.
I'm trying so hard to get the... So, we talked about doing the Rat-a-Tat Cup. Somebody actually made a map, and it's not a bad-looking map objectively, but they designed the terrain so it looks like there's Rat-a-Tats on the mini-map. And I'm like, damn, that's impressive. If we finally get around to hosting the Rat-a-Tat Cup, like, we gotta...
I mean...
gotta do it on that map.
I was thinking there's going to be like a lot of high brush because, you know, there's...
Ooh,
like,
that
like
would
it's
be
not- it's
obnoxious,
grass.
wouldn't it?
Yeah, but it's you know, Rat-a-Tat are like in the grass, and then occasionally a random Rat-a-Tat like, you know, comes and steals all your minerals, and it quotes back to that, you know, very first Pokemon
Oh, Lord, no.
episode where it's like Rat-a-Tat was still for stupid travelers. No? Okay. Fine.
Well, guys, I'm going to take a moment to beg. I know, Rifkin, you do us all the time. But I've noticed that we're at 1,593 subscribers. If we could reach that even 1,600 for the day, that would make my A, OCD calm down, B, make me feel less like I need to shill, and C, it's just a nice round number. So if any of you guys got your Twitch Prime subs available and you like StarCraft 2, I hope you consider throwing them our way. Or hell, if you like just replays and other cool benefits, maybe you'll sub for the sake of subbing. Unfortunately, September and all these cool deals are over, but yeah, we do offer a lot of replay packs, but I should state specifically not from this tournament. The Olimoleague we've agreed to, they do their own replay pack system through their Patreon, but for everything else we host and everything else we cast that we do for our own content, we very gladly share with our subscribers via Discord every time the casts are done. So if you are a subscriber and you're not already on the Discord server, that's where you got to go to get synced up for those sweet, sweet benefits. And whoa, well, not a single person was feeling generous enough to rock Twitch Prime. STK Darklink was feeling good enough to gift out 5 subs, bringing us to 1598. Thank you very much, dude.
Thank you indeed.
Oh no, some lag. Please don't be me. It's algebra.
It's Aljoba. Aljoba.
Oh, now it's me. Wait, what? Attempting to reconnect? Wait,
Oh yeah,
what?
it's me too. Oh, is it BattleNet?
Did we just get drop hacked? The hackers
I
are in the
think it's
system, guys.
Like BattleNet, but that's all right.
All right, well, I'll give it a sec before I hit surrender, but usually if you get to this box, it's over.
Oh, you're still on it? Oh.
Wait, are you not?
No, I was on it for like 2
Oh, wait,
seconds.
we're back.
Yeah, but now we're back.
Okay, but now it's still lagging.
Yeah, it is for me too. I think it's
Now
BattleNet.
it's Zombie Grub.
Yeah, I want to say it's BattleNet, man. I mean,
What?
I know.
I tried to type and then now
no,
it's me.
not
I
you.
can,
It's
how-
definitely BattleNet. BattleNet's being hacked, guys.
how
Oh,
can I
no.
see myself lagging out?
That's what I was just doing.
Crank, you aren't helping with the spam. Oh, I can't even type. All right, cool.
Now the Korean server really is just shutting itself off from the Americans.
They're like, look, they
North
couldn't get the hint. We were trying to stutter them off frame by frame. Now we got to go take it to be the real deal. Oh, it's me again.
They were playing the longest like send-off music ever at the Oscars, and eventually just brought out the cane, like the
Started
hook
dragging
and
us
dragged
off.
straight.
Well,
Oh boy.
whatever that was, let's hope it's passed.
I mean,
Crank, you are the worst, bro.
I guess.
If you guys don't know, spamming. If you guys don't know, back in the day, like the thing you would do is like when someone would lag, you'd start spamming like D D D D D D D and like all these spam letters because like it would create more input lag and increase the chance the person got disconnected. Whether that was an actual fact or not, it might have just been like pressing down B when you're catching Pokemon. People just they always said it, they always did it. Sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. But point is, we're back, baby. Nobody's gone except for Algebra. Whoever that
Get
was.
worse though, like, cause during that last the first game, the big fight, I like had severe drops, and I thought I was gonna lag out. So
At some point, they will make the Korean servers great again.
I'm building a wall, server wall.
Yeah. And they're gonna make China pay for it all.
He wants it. No.
That cost him a Phoenix. I don't know if that was so worth it. If you got out of there even like 1 health, that would have been pretty nice, but... Alright, Zest... I'm actually... That lag totally threw me off. I actually, for whatever reason, have totally forgotten how this game opened up, but now we see the Phoenix come in, and he's following it up with a Forge and a Charge, so we'll probably see +1 cranked out here pretty quick.
Yeah, this is the opener. Not much has gone on. Solar goes for a more typical layer this game. No Roach Warren. He chose the biggest map in the map pool. Well, I guess longest rush distance. I think it's the biggest as well, but I'm not sure. Anywho, and it's pretty safe. Even if there was like a depth running across the map, and they're still pretty speedy with their shades. Like, it would take a little while longer. So a bit of a risk, but something that's going to pay off. Ling Hydra immediately, and then maybe add the Bailing Nest later.
So people are suggesting maybe it's happening because there's WoW maintenance. But the thing is, this happens every Tuesday and there's maintenance all the time. So I don't think those two things are connected. But the one thing I am a little hyped about, if there is anyone who plays WoW, is the 4% damage buff to Feral that's happening right now. Sorry.
Rifkin, it's a very delicate process. If you hammer the wrong nail into the server, I mean, it just suddenly breaks everything.
I like this idea that somehow that upgrades things. You just like a pin cushion, just putting, 1 nail equals 1 RAM. Hammer it in there.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh.
I've seen those movies, from the 1940s,
This-
where they like, there it is again.
It's happening again. Well, while it's lagging out, guys, I want to give some big thanks to, and he's made me mess up his name before, to Aldo Futler. Thank you very much for that sub, dude. Should I leave? I don't even know at this point.
I don't know. I think Krang's trying to explain to Solar right now.
I mean, it's not even like I get the option to shy of Alt F4. I can't do anything. Like,
Yeah, no,
The
I
stutter
don't know.
is because Rifkin's builds are bad. Oh, fucking Bane Glory. In the Twitch chat, my dude. Can we get some spray bottles? Can we get some Ace Sprays? Spray the Bane away. Like, oh, man, how could you? How dare you?
Whose camera am I gonna follow now?
Well, will it matter? Because if I leave, we can't observe the game.
You did leave, didn't you?
No, should I?
What? No, you left. You're gone.
What are you talking? I'm definitely not gone. I'm still here, baby. I'm waiting for that reconnect. It's gonna come back any second now.
You were officially out of the game. It said Rifkin has left the game. You're donezo.
Oh shit. All right. Well, can we pull this up on Craig's screen and just like I guess we could cast off Craig's stream?
I have share screen as well, I guess.
We could try that. I mean, it's gonna be shitty quality no matter what we do. So, yeah, hit me up with that share screen, Zombie Grub.
Yeah. Hey, here you go.
See if I can get. Whoa, that explode. Ooh, no. This is not gonna work.
Can you see the toolbar?
Stop it. Turn it off. Whatever you've done. What we can do though is I know this works on Discord because we've used it on Discord before.
Okay. So I have to call you and.
Yeah, and I'll mute there, you mute there, and then just share screens.
Whoa! It gives me an option to stream StarCraft 2 specifically. Like not my monitor.
I get sound from it.
Whoa!
Whoa! All right, guys, this isn't gonna look pretty, but it's better than nothing. That's the wrong screen to do the capture from. All right, here we are, kind of back in it.
Cool.
Yo, can we just be real? Discord kicks Skype's ass. Fuck you,
Yeah.
Skype. Die already.
That was pretty cool. That was really cool.
Okay, well, Heroin Pig, we're thinking for the 3-month sub. We're back in it. We got a little bit of game sound. Zombie Grub's doing the observing. Looks like Solar's got some lurkers on deck, and well, this could be some trouble for Zest.
Yeah, I don't think much else has happened in the game.
Oh, this is so loud. I gotta turn this down. One sec.
Okay.
Don't worry. You keep doing your thing.
right.
I got this.
All right. Well, yeah, I like it happened. Like this is the first time something's really gonna happen. Just macro otherwise. So the lurkers are revealed. We got some Phoenix lifting them up. It seems like it's gonna be dealt with, and there's no attack over to the right side. Well, there's a Zealot attack, but I mean on Zest's 4th base. It's all about this attack wizard. Where is Zest's army? It's coming around town. Is this how you view games? I mean, what do you mean? I don't know what you mean. Anyways, I
It's
don't know
not
if that army's
perfect, guys, but it's the best we got for you right now.
Yeah, it's not like I'm watching this in this quality.
No, actually, is there a way I can... I guess not. The quality is kind of coming in like 240p right now. It was good. I don't know why it changed. Maybe it just can't handle the extreme wear and tear. But Heron Penguin, thank you for being 1600, and then Fortnite Zool comes with the Twitch Prime to be 1601.
Well, the Zealot attack did great, and then Zest cleaned up the Lurker attack. Fantastic. He lost his production, but he didn't lose his Robo, which is probably the most important. And he's rebuilding his gateways back in his main. Things are looking kind of good for Zest, but Solar, 4 bases. He was on 5, just got that cut down. Is replacing the army rather quickly. He really did not dig into Zest's army. Like, a lot of the importance are still alive, and he has to replace the High Templar, sure, get more storms, but this is a pretty good sign for Protoss at this stage.
You guys are upset about this. Look at the top right. It says 4K. So your eyes are just so used to seeing 1080 and 720 in such shitty quality. You don't know what good quality looks like. Your monitors are probably not even good enough to handle 4K is what it comes down to.
Yeah, we all know human eyes can only see 3K anyways.
Thank you very much to Necker2013 for the Twitch Prime sub. Solar and Zest, I need you guys to end this game quickly so we can get back into the real game.
ITK, Rifkin. We'll make it on the way.
I know. I can kind of make that out. I'm also not used to 4K, unfortunately.
I mean, Solar's kind of like really committing to this mid-game thing, so he might be the one to tap out when it doesn't work. We'll,
I wonder...
we'll see.
You keep if I actually shrink this, it actually does look better, right, guys? Like, am I crazy? This is obviously not optimal viewing experience, but this looks better than full screen, right? Like, how stupid is that?
Oh, so good. This is only a portion of Zest's army. He's preparing for another attack over to the left side, but one thing you can say about Zest this game is that he does not have a lot of vision. And you guys can barely see that, but it's like his revelations are coming down. They're being saved for the lurkers. So he's fighting a full force solar with only half his force, and he's actually committing to it as well, which seems like a bad idea.
I'm gonna take your word for it.
Why? He just lost all of his zealots. I mean, I guess it's important he gets once again live, but he lost all the buffer.
Do me a favor, try something else. I know right now you're streaming StarCraft 2 directly. Can you try just screen sharing instead on Discord? I want to see if that's actually a difference in quality.
Sure.
It means we'll lose the sound, but we might get the picture.
Oh, there it is. I was like, what? Stream quality 1080. Oh,
damn, girl. It's like 20 FPS, but you know what? It's viewable. We can see what's happening. So fuck it. Let's rock and roll. We just went from 4K to 8K, ladies and gentlemen. Let me update that so you know. Not even, it's 16K. Because it's 4 times better, but half the FPS, right? All right.
I think Zest just screwed this up while we were doing that, by the way.
Yeah? It looks about right. I'd say the lurkers are chunking away at the immortals. Those units are meant to deal with them, and that's going to be game. Thank God, because I didn't want to cast so much longer. All right, so I'm greatly sorry, everybody. If you don't know what happened, like, the BattleNet is being absurd. I don't know what's going on. But we're being told that if it happens again, to stay out of the lobby. Great. Excellent. Good day for StarCraft. I mean, in fairness, like, I'm complaining, but it's the right move because they're playing for a considerable amount of money, and like, normally lag that we experience as observers isn't that bad, but this is impeding their gameplay. So what I'm likely going to end up doing, guys, is if this is going to continue to lag, like, I'm hoping it's not. This is just one game, right? Maybe just one bad game, one bad server. If it happens again, what we'll do is we'll just have to offset our games by one game and cast from replays or something. So like, they'll play game 3, we'll wait, and then as they're playing game 4 live on Crank Stream, we'll be casting game 3 via replay type thing. I want to keep casting alive though, so we're going to try and hop into this next map and hope that there's no issues, fingers crossed, but in a worst case scenario, that's what we'll end up doing. Because I mean, I love this tournament. I love these guys playing. I don't want to miss out on this.
I don't want to either.
I just want to know if it's like the Korean server becoming autonomous. It's like, I'm so sick of all the foreigners. We need to get all of them out. Doesn't matter whether they're players or observers. Or if it's just Blizzard server fuck off.
I mean, they gotta allocate all that infrastructure to remastered Rifkin. All those remastered tournaments are doing.
God damn it, Sham 2.
Yeah, blame Sham 2.
He starts one tournament and Blizzard's like, yes. Okay, so we are in the lobby. I want to emphasize that this is going to be live, but if the lag happens again, we'll have to take a seat. We'll have to delay the cast and try and cast from replays or something. It's not as simple as just having zombie group swap over either, because it is kind of like, I'll skip the intro, because to explain this for those who don't know, it is totally random who it affects. Some games will get in there and I'll be perfectly fine, and she won't. Other games will get in there and I'll be lagging and she'll be perfectly fine. Like, there's no consistency, so we can't plan around it. If that was the case, we could always just have zombie group stream that, right? Plus, that was a smooth as hell game, and then just all of a sudden we all just started lagging for no real good reason. So let's move on. Let's see how this goes. It's match point anyways. He's up 2-1. I'm sorry to bring this back down to 1080p at 60 FPS. I hope your eyes can adjust after seeing the glory of 16K. But spawning here to the lower left, we have the blue Zerg Solar.
The top right as the pink Protoss. He is Zest.
Now, if we have any of the super semi-casuals or those who are just getting to StarCraft, you're a little intrigued because you see this on the front page type thing. A couple of fun facts to know is, like, Zest is heralded as being like one of the best players consistently over a long time in Korea. He's lost that title more recently, but he's just got a lot of history of being the best. Solar might not have that same history, but Solar's a very unique, like, his personality plus his capability to speak English incredibly fucking well has really won the hearts, I think, of a lot of the foreign fans, which is kind of cool. And I wish we could see Solar on more stuff, to be honest. Like, he's a very fun guy to have around.
That he is, yeah. Zest is... I mean, he's a little wonky. You know, he got second place in last season's GSL. Not this season, last season. So that was 3 months ago. But he got there. And, you know, that still wasn't that long ago, even in StarCraft 2's terms. Yet, it didn't really feel like... Well, it certainly wasn't a good finals. I would not suggest go back to watch that one. But it also is just like one of those things where I think his PvZ is definitely his weakest right now, even if it was maybe at one point his strongest. And online tournaments are always kind of finicky, and Zest is always kind of finicky. He just playing a decent amount, so it's bound to be a little give and take, can't win all of them type thing. And that last game, I know we were having fun with the 4K and the lags, and it was just a grand old time. But when it boiled down to it, it really seemed like Zest just threw a one game. Not like 100% won, but like an 80% you should win this game after how he defended, after how he was still on 4 bases going up to attack, and then just didn't have any scouting and attacked a full army with half of his. That was just such a okay, which has been happening to Zest a lot today. Let's not forget the Gumiho series.
I was actually trying to.
No, don't. No, it was this map where we went, okay. And
Okay.
That's the game that he should have won.
You guys realize someone, Cinos in chat points out we have almost as many viewers as we did pixels for that last game. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yes, that front page bump. But I was going to say, for Zest, okay, I don't actually know, like, memeing aside, it was so blurry and you were doing a good job covering it, but we still couldn't really tell what was going on, so it's hard for me to agree with you on the one game sentiment. But, oh, a little bit of trouble. Here's the probes get pulled. They have to. If that pylon goes down, that's big trouble for Zest, but in defending that pylon, it still costs him 5 probes.
Yeah, it's even more... If it wasn't for the whole fact the pylon was powering things and keeping them on supply blocks, that was more expensive than losing the pylon. Well, the Adept's trying to get some revenge. He did get 1 drone. Starting to rebalance the scales, I guess. That was just a big slip up, but also kind of a you know, just kind of a cheeky move from Solar. You're not often going to get 15 lings, slow lings, whatever, into the main base.
I also have to put an addendum here as chat points out that I was incorrect. I shouldn't have said pixels. I meant 1 viewer for every resolution? All the resolutions combined.
Yeah. The Dark Shrine is scouted, but if we're talking about a macro game, this is actually okay. He's not going to get that easy win lead like he did in the Fracture game.
When you think about it too, like when he got in there with the DTs, they killed like 4 or 5 drones and spent some time chasing some queens for damage. I mean, they still ended up becoming the Archons, and the Archons are what did the damage, so whether it gets scattered or not, it's what Zest's control that matters the most. Yes, he loses the element of surprise, so he probably can't just walk in with the DTs like he did last time, but he'll still do, I imagine, quite a bit with the Archons. But we're getting a bit of a double whammy here. Seal Web, thank you very much for the 3-month resub. Can I get a Rattata for 3 months? No.
Seal.
There you go. Corp, Magic Corp. And then Taucan22, he cheers 400 bits with the rest in peace cheer him out, which breaks my heart. Putting into that 4K VR fund. Thanks for persevering through the tech issues. You two rock. Well, I prefer paper. We went 2 different directions with that joke.
Yeah, we do. There's an all-in on the way, which is pretty important. We have charge and a lot of gateways down, something that Solar did not see. So it was important that he's getting roaches to deal with Archons. He needs a lot of roaches, and I don't know if he knows that.
I mean, he's got to know that. He saw the Dark Shrine. He knows what's coming. There's no question mark about that.
It's a question mark about the gateways. He sees, actually, you know what? He sees no gases at the natural, so I think he does know.
Well, getting a little bit of pepper there on the Warp Prism, but not even losing all of its shields, so it gets out of there with the Archons. Takes like 10 seconds-ish without combat to get those shields generating up or regenerating up once again. And yeah, that Overlord still has eyes on those gases.
Well, if it wasn't for the gases being shown, I would think this is maybe a very clever, potent way to kill someone who's like, oh, it's the Archon thing again. Suddenly it's a lot of Zealot things. It's too bad. It was an easy scout for the Overlord.
The aspect I really liked that I kind of wish he could squeeze in here, but I understand budgetary reasons we can't. I really like the double warp prism. I think being able to micro with one while you warp in with the other is just absolutely fantastic, but having those extra 2 Zealots might be all that matters. As they charge in here, it's 8 damage on impact, and then of course the swings upon arrival. Archon's firing from the back lines, and this Roach army falls apart very quickly.
Oh, Zealots are so good! Why do you think he didn't bud Zealots as a Protoss player, honestly? Mineral base, that's where it's at.
Zealots cost gas, right, to be this good?
And a Warp Prism too, must be, comes from the Robo.
Well, Warp Prism goes down. GG still get called. Zest ties up the series 2-2.
GG. Not done.
All right, guys. Quick 2-minute break. Game number 5, ace match. Last game in the series comes up when we get back. Hey guys, we're back, and we're just getting the lobby sorted for game number 5. Really quick, though, preface here. I hope this doesn't end up happening, especially in the middle of me speaking, please. But during the commercial break, I realized it's actually stormy outside. How do I know this? Because lightning hit. Not too close or anything, but this is my first storm in the new apartment. My last apartment had like backup on backup generators, so I never had to worry about a power outage. I don't know if it's like that here. So if I disappear, we'll know why. Hopefully I don't, but there's your quick little heads up. Fingers crossed, boys.
Heads up, 7 up.
You know what, that game
Play that game?
in school always seemed like a good idea until you realize how lame it was.
I don't even remember how to play it.
Everyone just always picked the same people. Like, all right. Game 5, ladies and gentlemen. We have a whole nother semifinal still coming up, and of course that grand final. So spawning in the top right to kick things off, we've got the pink Protoss Zest.
In the bottom left is the red Zerg. It is Solar. I saw Bacon Hero's comment, and I realized that a Pikachu is just a Thunder Rattata. Thunder Boy.
Well, that's not true at all, because Thunder's the sound. Pikachu would be a lightning Rattata.
Shut up. No one asked you.
You know, they say that when your mom nags you about wearing a seatbelt or checking in if you're okay, it's just like her way of saying I love you without saying I love you. That's kind of how I feel as Bazam Grip says shut up. So at least that's how I have to take it. Otherwise, it's very sad.
If that's what you want to take, I mean, I don't know. maybe in some other context. That one I just meant shut up.
Just shut up, Rifkin. It's okay.
Don't correct me.
Tsundere. Yep.
Okay, anyways. Yeah, last game, Charge was pretty good.
Tsundere or Thundere?
Tsunami. Yo, did you see that video of the tsunami in Indonesia? Tsunamis scare me so much.
But I've heard a lot about it, actually. People were sharing that around. I just haven't actually taken a look at it yet.
Oh my god, like as soon as they found out, like, it's like it wasn't reported. They said there wasn't going to be a tsunami. People, like, some people saw the tide like moving way out, which is a sign, and they got to high ground, but like they took a video and I was just like, oh my god. It's not ever the super dramatic, like, interstellar gigantic tidal wave type thing, but you still realize it's like 20-foot wall of water coming at you if you're on the ground. I'm just like, no.
So some people escaped to the high ground.
Yep.
Was it over for Anakin?
Probably some poor kid named Anakin who's down. And everyone feels real bad right now.
Natural disasters are fucked up. Not a lot you can do. Like, just pray.
Well, you could. I mean, I don't know. I'm not a weatherologist, okay? But like,
weatherologist?
You could maybe be like, it could be possible, guys.
Is a weatherologist somebody who's way so good at predicting the weather?
Yeah, exactly. It's wasted quality. Anyways, I've been playing Tomb Raider as well, which I'm really sad I can't stream. Like, it takes too much CPU.
Oh, but it looks so good. I've seen everybody playing around with the portraits and the screenshot mode.
It looks really good, so I was sad I couldn't do it.
My friend, she's been playing it with the pixel boobs and stuff enabled or whatever, like that the old school skin.
Oh yeah. I was so
you got this like 4K background, sick ass shadows, and then like, yeah, the polygons.
It's so funny though, because when I realized that, like, you go through the skins, the outfits, and you get to that one, you're like, that's really funny. They also had a skin from the original, like, new Tomb Raider, I guess, the first of the series, and it was the same graphics as the first of the series. Like, that's not the only laughably graphic, like, downscaled graphics in that game. So I thought that was really weird, but also kind of cool.
Well, speaking of weird and cool, the interaction of what we just witnessed here, the stalker got caught outside killing the Overlord, which, by the way, great that he killed it. That strips away so much vision from Solar, but then actually barely saves that with the recall. Like, 2 more hits when the Ling's is dead.
Yeah. Also, the reason I brought up Tomb Raider because she was, like, attacked, like, hit by a tsunami. Anyways, Dark Shrine's on the way, and we do have the regular, not charged lot all lane version of this on, and something that Solar doesn't know about that Overlord, so it's a little scary. He's probably gonna, I mean, he's simply put, he's gonna lose out on economy he otherwise could have had. He's already building a road torn at a pretty early time.
Unfortunately, Zest hasn't really changed up what he's been doing, right? Like, he's hitting Solar with more of the same. And it's terrifying for Solar. Like, he really has to start saying, like, what can I do? How can I adjust this to be slightly different? The DTs are coming in. While there's no Overseers, there's going to be Spore Crawlers. Had he got there a little quicker, he might have been able to focus him down, but even grabbing a high-energy Queen like that's nice.
I don't know what you're expecting. It was 4 DTs taking a swipe at you. That's what DTs can do. So now they turn to Archons. They want to be up against that corner, though. Exactly.
Solar, I like that he waits. He waited with the other 2 on purpose in case the Lynx came back. That was really, really good in Zest's part.
Yeah. He made a decent amount of units. I think this is certainly the safety amount against Archon or double Archon, but it still is, it's a much closer drone count than I think it was last game, where Solar was maybe a little too high, right? And Zest just said stop making probes. And also I think the game before, but don't quote me on that. Point is,
those were some really good transfuses, by the way. Zest, I don't think I actually killed any roaches there.
Nice.
No, actually, yeah, no roaches so far. And that's so good too, because the roach number picks up pretty quickly to be the amount you actually need to push off the Archons, much less what you can split to have them in one spot to receive them. But, oh, I didn't even realize he had done this. I saw it on the production tab.
Yeah.
Oh, this is so clever when you think about it. The worst part, the weakest part about this is the fact that you have to spend like 20 seconds refueling, so to speak, right? Of the shields regenerating before they can go back in, and even then it's low and risky, so... Oh, this is so clever if this works.
If it works. I mean, it doesn't seem so worth it right now, and he also had a warp in to protect it, so maybe he doesn't have warp ins to defend his third, but there aren't that many lings, so that seems to be okay. But he's just not doing a whole lot in the main. He's gonna grab a single Spore Crawler, which does open up opportunities.
Well, you don't know. You may have had a girlfriend.
I mean, you could go both ways with that.
All right, yeah,
that's right. You recover from that.
Yeah, the Archons go back in front of a lot of. I gotta say, like, I'm amazed at how good the transfuses are at actually holding this. A lot of the times they kind of go out randomly and they don't seem that effective. But Solar has again lost no roaches so far this game. In the same way that Zest is doing some crazy Warp Prism micro, Solar's doing some really good transfuse micro. That's definitely worth noting.
I could have sworn I saw something die. Oh man.
It was Zest's hopes of winning this game at this rate, because this is a big counterattack. Remember, because all these roaches lived, he had enough that he could split them, and I mean, 2 Immortals is pretty good, but that's still a lot of roaches.
Well, Immortals and Force Fields are good, and he has those. You recall the Archons, and he's gonna be able to hold, but it did bring back the entire attack. Come on, battle it. Hold on.
Looks like one of the Archons died while this was going on, or where is it?
What?
Did it get stuck?
What?
No, it didn't die.
You're right. What? Quay?
Oh, it's just way in the back. I guess it got stuck with the recall. Probably like took a while to get out or something.
Gotcha.
I was like, why did he only have 3 Archons in the Warp Prisms? But then nothing was dead on the units lost it? I was so confused there, but all right. So Zest is still in a pretty good spot. +1 weapons. He's taking such minimal losses. Having driven off that first wave of attack, the Zerglings are certainly not going to cut it for the second run. I guess Solar does clean up the shield batteries, which was kind of annoying. He could actually just deploy the Warp Prism here if he really wanted to, but... Oh, he's brought Immortals with this drop.
I guess... I mean, they have bigger... They have more range than Archon, right?
Yeah, but he had to pop the barriers really early, so... I mean, those will be coming off cooldown soon, but oh, they could really melt this hatch. He's just gonna cancel. I love the preemptive cancel. Yeah, he knows it's gonna die.
Nope. I was just guessing he was gonna try and take a Spore Crawler down, but now he's just carrying around me fancy.
Thank you, KeyMag12 for the 33 months. He says Zest will survive. I guess. Well, we'll see if you just sub-curse them. He eats a couple of corrosive biles on top of the Archons.
Fields.
Set corrosive biles to break the force fields.
More Force Fields.
You're
it's
right
the only
on
way he's
that
gonna
one.
win against an army. We're getting Stalkers though. Okay, yeah, good choice.
Everything he does right now is like he wants this bonus damage versus armor, but he doesn't have enough force fields to take another fight like that. However, on the other side of the map, looks like a combination of mutas and lings are getting through. All the probes are transferred to one single base, and while that might deal with the Zerglings, it won't deal with the mutas. So we're kind of in a base trade situation, and I don't think Zest can win this one.
I guess that's why he's warping into Stalkers. He was already building Blink, and he's gonna have +2. Like this might actually be a good situation for him. There's no upgrades on the Zerg. The force fields, I guess they're gonna run out of G eventually, but we're now in a choke situation regardless. If he would attack with the rest of the army.
He's gotta pick up. He's gotta keep these alive. There's no rebuilding them after this.
Can he hold on to any of his bases is kind of the question, though. Like, I think he eventually punches through this army, but maybe not with a lot of his own left over. But how is he going to survive the base race?
He's keeping these Immortals alive. This is huge because they'll get their barriers back. They've got a lot of survivability to them. Just keep them alive for another 30 seconds. But on the other side of the map, like, he's just totally screwed. I don't think there's any recovery. He can recall maybe.
Okay. Yes, that's what he's gonna do, right? So he doesn't know that Solar doesn't have like a bunch of bases being made. He saw the drones pull to the natural though, so there could be a really educated guess here. And if he could go ahead and recall to the main, like he could still win this.
He really wants to push up for this though. I mean, he's been plowing through. The Warp Prism goes down. The Immortals, they don't have anything to micro with them. Another Warp Prism comes in though, so I guess that's okay. I guess she was in the back line while this went on. That Spore Crawler's doing work for Solar, honestly. Killing that first one's a big deal. He's losing what little there is left, though. Both players have no workers remaining. I mean, Zest is one, but...
Whoa, the one person again! Okay, that's sniped. It doesn't matter. GG!
GG. Zest. Oh, the mutas were clumped up at the end there, too, on top of the Archon. That was only going to go badly for Solar, but what a tight end to that game. To the end of that series, and Zest will advance on to the grand finals, where he'll fight against either Special or Rogue. So this is going to be a really awesome grand finals for sure, but you guys have been waiting for it. We can't wait to deliver. Special versus Rogue comes up next in the other semifinals. That is a best of 5 happening over there. Oh, geez, I've suddenly been hit with...
Thank you, Atira, for the 613 sub.
Thank you. I'm still sick. We're going to go to break. See you guys soon. All right, I'm really sorry about that, guys. A little embarrassing for me because, like I said, I'm still pretty sick, but got work to do. We're getting into the lobby right now. It is Blue Shift coming up next for Special versus Rogue, and it's actually starting right away. So we'll see you guys on Blue Shift. All right, we're back, and looks like we just got a little host there from Maynard. Hey, dude. I didn't realize you were streaming at this hour, or maybe it's an offline host. You're just super baller. Either way, if you're coming from Maynard stream, you're here just in time for a brand new best of 5 to start. I'll get his name up on the overlay in a second here, but spawning in the upper right, we have the blue Zerg Rogue.
The bottom left is the red Terran. He's not being kicked off the server. It's the foreigner Special. He's in Korea, so it considers him an adopted son.
Wait, is the text file after your Rogue from last time? No, it's Parting. All right, let me just change the name there to say Rogue. But yeah, of course, many of you know who Maynard is. He's been on the channel many times. Good friend. Casts events. Kind of a big deal. Kind of a nice guy. But you should definitely check him out, because if you don't know, I know that earlier today he was streaming some sub replays, but he does a lot of StarCraft too. You know, I'm Mr. No Passion Lord. I'm busy streaming Fortnite and World of Warcraft. You want some hardcore Terran passion? Go check out Maynard sometime, guys. Give him a follow.
You only get some Terran passion from me.
Yeah, look at Zombie. I'm experimenting with other races.
You get full Terran bias from both of us.
Hell yeah, that's what you come to Base Trade. The B stands for bias. But no, look, guys, I don't want to be this like fake streamer, because every streamer does that knee-jerk reaction, right? Take a fucking second. He just typed in chat. Click on his channel, click on his name, and actually go follow that man. If you don't, well, fuck you.
Yeah. Go away.
No, don't go away. Don't listen to her. She's crazy. She thinks to go weather scientists.
A weatherologist, please, sir.
Whether or not you know what it's called, it's not up for grabs right now. All right. So special, we've made some jokes, but to give some highlights, because again, I know we're on the front page. Some of you guys recognize these names and some of you don't. Rogue is like a legend in terms of like there's an actual legend about him. The Jin Air Green Wings only exists because like the CEO's daughter had like a crush on this guy. Like, he's a good Zerg player. He's got some cool history.
That's a new one on me, man.
Okay, well, anyways, Rogue is a badass. Absolutely love him. But lately, his play style's fallen off a bit, so I don't know that this is the indomitable Rogue we've seen in the past. And that's why I didn't list him out earlier when I said all the top Zergs. But on the other hand, Special is a guy who doesn't come out to play in a lot of online events. He regularly, and I'm going to say this, and I don't mean this in a rude way, but he kind of weasels his way into WCS, because he could totally kick ass in North America, but he does it through like Copa America instead, where there's like no competition for him. Like, he is what the Koreans were to the foreigners to poor Copa America. But regardless, it's not, he doesn't do it because like he needs easy wins. He's actually a tremendously good Terran player. He's made it to BlizzCon last year. He's actually feared. Like, a lot of Korean players don't want to play Special.
Absolutely. The only competition he used to have was Kelazir, and he's pretty much just ascended, and Kelazir is kind of descending as he goes to school in the Netherlands. So I think he won every single season of Copa America this year. He only missed like one last year. So yeah, he dominates that, and I guess maybe you can argue that he should be playing in like the North America WCS, but whatever. Point is, he lives in Korea. He trains, maybe not exactly like a Korean, but I've heard sometimes he gets pretty close, and then he does play like a Korean too a lot of the times. And he's good friends with a lot of the Koreans as well.
And he's going full on innovation, unless this is a fake out, which I don't think it is. No. Banshee Speed has got some merits to it. Even if you're a hardcore StarCraft fan, you probably haven't seen this made too often in games. But the beauty of this is it makes the Banshees so fast that A, it's a lot easier to run away from things, but B, like, you actually can't catch them with an Overseer. Even if the Overseer has speed, the Banshees outrun them. So you'll have Cloak and things like Mutas can catch them, but they can't see them.
Well, he's about to be all in, so real important thing here is that the Queens come along, because it is Banshees. They're not coming along via like a transport though, so this is like where it's kind of scary. By the time the Queens get over here, you will have Banshee speed, but you sacrificed Cloak, so it's, I guess it's a give and take. Yeah,
I think Banshees.
I think this is a game where you'd rather have Cloak first.
Well, okay, yes, I agree with that, but secondly, if this was one port Banshee, I think Special could be in a lot of trouble. Because it's 2-port Banshee, he's gonna have 3 Queens out, or 3 Banshees out, that easily kills these Queens.
Yes, that is definitely true. So what we're mostly worried about here is how fast the Hellions die, because that means how fast the Hellions die means that the Lings get into every single SCD line, and that's where the true damage is done. And then Rogue Mac is back at home and deals with the Banshees in other ways.
Well, he lifts up the gates and he does let those Lings in, kind of on purpose. He let the depots down. He really wanted to get the shots here with the Hellions as he dodges the Corrosive Bile as best he can. Those other 2 Banshees do spawn. We got Cyclones coming out next, and these 3 Banshees go on to tackle the Queens. They go for the one with the high energy. I think that's a smart move. Takes her down pretty quickly. Corrosive Bile's missed the Banshees. He might goes away from it, funny enough, though.
This so far has been a good hold, I think, for Special. This could have been a lot worse. His Micros Hellions, he let his SCVs and the Mineral line.
the really interesting thing is going to be what the follow-up looks like for this, right? Because all the Banshees survived, and Cloak is on the way, and 2 more Banshees are joining them, it's going to be this really powerful counterattack that isn't your typical Hellions running by, but it's Banshees with speed, no less. So catching them is going to be almost out of the question. And Solar right now, or excuse me, not Solar, Rogue right now, he looks great. He's got 54 drones, he looks 3 bases. But the thing is, like, Special held that so well. Like, right now, Rogue should be quaking in his boots.
I mean, this is a game that even if it wasn't 2-port Banshee, I still feel like Mech or Bio, this is something that Special is okay with. It's not super ideal, but it's definitely okay. And he just got 6, drones right there, so it's really okay. But it is the 2-port Banshee, so that he might be thinking that there's an even better opportunity for him to take a lead from how this has gone down. But he really needs to scout that it's a Spire. While you're right, like the Overseers cannot catch the speed Banshees. It is more of a question of, can you catch them while they're in your base? Can you circumvent their escape path? And Aspire is, usually the best thing to do that. Although Hydralisk eventually can too if you're smart about it.
You guys don't know, by the way, Banshees could kill the Spire before he even really gets to build much out of it.
It's third Spore Crawler!
Okay, 6 Mutas start up. Oh god, he's running. He's speeding. He's out of there. Normal Banshees are dead to this.
Yeah, it's not a cleans.
That's a big kill on the Spire. That's a huge kill on the Spire.
I think... Okay, so obviously it's not great to lose a Spire. I'm not going to make that case. But Rogue might be okay because he managed to get any mutas out. And 6 is an okay amount.
Wait, what? This is not a wall.
No, it's not. It's like an anti-roach... No, it's not even an
anti-roach. It's like a stagger.
It's like a Brood War wall for, like, Dragoons. Because Dragoons are dumb and fat, but I don't even think that holds off against roaches. It's a good run by. Okay, that's not supposed to happen. Banshee's all... Okay, Special just taps out. Well, that's how you do a game, ladies and gentlemen. That's a tap out right there.
All right, well, Rogue takes game 1. I'm a little sad because I thought that was such an exceptional hold out of Special, but
I mean, I kind of see his point. The Lings really were not supposed to do any damage, and I don't know if he had any defenses against the mutas. But in another way, I don't see his point in that I feel like there were some emergency holds to be made, and Banshee still had potential to run around. So I'm not going to judge that one.
Well, we'll get that next lobby coming up in a second. It will be Special's map pick, so he'll have at least that to go off of. I think, though, one thing about Special we do see pretty consistently, though, is, well, sometimes his tap-outs look preemptive or were, like, disappointing because it didn't have, like, a sick finish. Like, a lot of the times they do, like you said, they make sense. And, well, yeah, there's, like, what, 6 Banshees, 5 Banshees, plus, like, a small amount of Cyclones on the ground. That wouldn't have actually won out the game, and that's the bigger problem there.
Yeah.
Dares wants to know if I'm feeling better. The answer is not really, but enough to not force Sonic up to do another solo cast. I hate it because it feels like it's not it is a throat thing, but it feels like whatever the problem is, like you can feel it in your chest. Like there's just something there that if you could just like take like a spray bottle and like just clean it off, like you'd be all better. I realize I'm a crazy person describing this, but I'm also sick, so I get a pass.
Okay, yeah. Now, being sick sucks, especially because I don't have sicknesses where I just get over it in a couple of days. I always have lingering phlegm and whatever. It's very uncomfortable.
Oh, this is kind of interesting. Is this a match in the groups for BlizzCon?
I don't know. Someone told me the groups once, and I was like, cool, I should check those out, and I never did.
Well, I guess we can look that up in a moment. Because I was going to say, oh, well, I'm in the player slot. Oopsies. Because I was going to say, like, if that is the case, then maybe doing things like 2-port Banshees is like, okay, yeah, you don't want to give away too much before BlizzCon. So you're not going to do your builds. You're not going to do not your real builds, at least, right? Your host, by the way.
Yeah. Oh. I don't want to be host.
BattleNut says, is your YouTube Basetradetv or map control code? The overlay bit graphics beg to differ. So both youtube.com/mapcontrolco and youtube.com/Basetradetv will take you to the same YouTube channel. It was Map Control Co. Then we got our branding sorted, but I've never updated this graphic, so there you go. We'll see you guys on Fracture. All right, so we have confirmed that this is going to be a BlizzCon group match between these two. So this makes a lot more sense why we see Rogue just throwing it all in at Special and Special doing a, different than normal build. I'll explain the thought process on this in a moment, guys. But for now, spawning here with 1 point on the board in the best of 5, we got the red Zerg Rogue.
The bottom right as the blue Terran, it is Special, his map choice.
So I know a lot of people get excited. They're like, yes, this is a preview of BlizzCon. This is what we can expect out of the BlizzCon groups. But unfortunately, no, that's rarely ever the case. A lot of these players are very, very, very conscious of who they're playing, when they're playing, and who they're practicing for. And for Special and Rogue, like, they've committed to this tournament. They want to come here and win a little bit of cash, even if they can't win first place, because they can't show all their best or brightest builds. There are very few players who have the mentality that, like, it doesn't matter that they're playing in groups. They still want to get the best practice in now while they can. A lot of the time, these guys do just kind of phone it in, so to speak. And I'm not saying that is what's happening, and I'm not inferring match fixing or any bullshit, but the reality is builds are going to be kept in their pockets. Certain playstyle elements aren't going to be revealed to one another this close to BlizzCon. And while the Olimoleague has this really cool $500 prize pool, BlizzCon's like a little bit closer to $1 million. So it's way more important you don't give away too much information now, only to ruin your chances 2 or 3 weeks from now when the groups for BlizzCon play out.
Yeah, 700,000 prize pool, pretty legit. And Rogue, and like Special Rogue, Nurtio Classic is the group. I'm feeling like Classic's gonna get out, and then it would be between Special and Rogue for me. Sorry, Nurtio. So that's like, it really is quite the emphasis on their groups. I don't think there's any easy groups per se, but I think it's definitely winnable. And yeah, you want to show your opponent your true overall strategy at the very least. You're probably going to have to show some of your similar builds, with your 1/1/1s and all that, your Hellion drops, but it can be very different. So we have Rogue going for a 2-base Roach Warren after a pool first, and we have Special going for a front wall off at his natural, because Fracture has the shortest wall off possible of the maps, I believe. So we'll see how that works out. Special really has to scout that this is what's happening. We did see the Roach Warren. There's the bunker.
Also, yeah, guys, I know I misread the number. 1,100,000. It sounds funny to say, it's not that different, but it is if you add a 0, so my bad.
I mean, I thought you said almost $1 million prize pool.
Well, I was wrong. Either way.
Wait, no, but I don't know. I was with you because I said, well, it's 700,000, which is, it's not close, but it's pretty up there.
Okay. Well,
yeah.
Either way, I wish I hadn't closed that page and left it open so I could just read the exact amount out instead of
Well, anyways.
being made to look so silly. But of course, that prize pool got bumped up a lot by the war chest, which was really cool to see too. Not quite pulling off a Dota compendium, but a lot of money brought in by the fans. Now that scumbag Marine lets the roaches in, that's a big problem because they'll hold the door down. The depot doesn't go up. These lings are already on top of the bunker. Now he's got a repair off, and it's holding pretty firm for the time being, but the roaches are going to start sniping them off on the backside. Rogue's also turning these roaches into Ravagers, and this all in, once again, out of Rogue. Looking pretty scary.
If Special doesn't lose like 10 SCVs, though, I feel like it's a good hold for him. This is off of 2 bases for a Zerg player, but he might just start losing SCVs as the bunker.
The second bunker. Yeah, the second bunker's going to hold this.
Yeah, this should be fine, but I also thought the last hold was fine. Not sure it's worth pulling the SCVs. Okay, this time Rogue taps out, and that makes sense.
I love this. We got I really truly believe Rogue's just gonna all in every single game. I don't think showing builds of macro styles or anything are gonna come out of this, which is unfortunate, but at the same time, it's gonna be kind of cool to see what Rogue can pull out. Both of them are wearing weighted clothing, I guess, in this instance. Like, they're just holding back. They can't unleash themselves.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. My favorite anime is Boruto's dad.
Is Naruto more well known for the weighted stuff? I thought that was Dragon Ball Z.
Oh, you know what? Yeah, actually, I forgot Goku did that too. You're right.
mean,
I was thinking like Rock Lee when he he just takes the weights off in like that one fight, right? Versus was it Gaara or whatever?
Cool. That was when Naruto was cool. Actually, a really good manga and anime. And then time skip happened, and it was cool for like a couple more months, and then it just really went. Pew.
All right, well, guys, this it's tied up 1-1. We would play a commercial break here, but because we started weebing out, I forgot the timing. So we'll hold off on the ad break for now, but we are going to take a commercial break after this game is done. So hopefully it's not going to be super, super crazy.
Excuse me, good sir. Naruto was cool, and Rock Lee was super cool.
His eyebrows were super cool.
Giving hope to plenty of people who never want to pay for an eyebrow wax.
I just wish Choji was a cooler character, then I could justify some cosplay. But...
Choji? Oh, is he the one that ate a lot and then just the power based on?
Yeet!
Oh, you're right. He really didn't do anything. Even Kiva had a cool backstory and whatever.
I want to actually delve deeper into this, but I have a very, very limited Naruto knowledge. I didn't watch much of Shippuden or anything, and I never watched like the ending of it. But all right, guys, we're gonna hop into Lost and Found. I just know Naruto as a kid, and that's it. I'll see you guys in game. All right, you guys can have your opinions about whether Naruto was good or bad, but I think we can all agree Bleach sucks.
Yeah, that had a even less time being cool. Ugh.
All right, it's game 3. Things are tied up 1-1, and in the upper right we have the red Zerg. It's Rogue.
In the bottom left, going for the 4-axe, it is the blue Terran special.
Yeah, so it's his turn to turn on the all-ins, I suppose, and copy-paste the memes.
I don't know how.
I just really, well, the thing is, okay, Rogue's building well, but I was gonna say, I've actually seen him do this so many times, and I'd love for someone to do the analytics on the channel to find out for sure, but I feel like he's got close to like a 90% fail rate with this when we stream him.
It's pretty high. I don't know if that's I don't know. Someone else would have to confirm for you, but it wouldn't surprise me. It's really not supposed to work that much. Just like the 12 pool drone pool is not supposed to work either.
But then once in a while it does, and it makes everyone think, yes, this is a thing we should do.
Well, this is also the 4-axe, right? Like, it's not the 2-axe into a macro game. I mean, it's usually 4-axe. If you're gonna go more than 2, you usually bother going up to 4, but this is not 4. He builds a bunker, not trying to go right into the main, and he's in orbital, so I mean, regardless of what it was, it's gonna fail. Because Rogue had to pull first. I don't know, mate.
Go see the My Hero movie Basetradetv TV. I really want to, but the only showings of it here are pretty far away, which kind of sucks. There's one back where my parents live, and I'm like, they're making excuses to see my mom, be like, hey, I'm checking in, how's the cancer treatments going? Okay, see you later, we're gonna go see this movie. Like, actually, realistically, be like, I wouldn't even be inquiring. I'd just be like, hey, mom, how's the cat? All right, I gotta go. Bye.
I really wanted to see. They had the Satoshi Kon in like movies in theater for a while, but I was in Montreal. So
Well, if you get this, if you could get that Marine up on the high ground, you could leave one behind. But
well, I mean, the question really is like, how is he gonna make this work? I mean, what is his ultimate plan? He
Pull the
deflects the
boys.
link, and that's great. But then I think his plan was to just
I've seen him do this so many times with this same build, and it never works. Like, but granted, there's a chance. No, he puts on a second spine crawler. This should really hold.
Yeah.
No,
I mean,
again, maybe Rogue messes up here, right? But generally speaking, he's not been greedy with his drones. He's being very appropriate with his spines. I think Special's gonna try his best here, but he's gonna probably be the one who taps out.
Yes. All right, here it goes. Pull back. Speed's not going to be done for this, but the second spine crawler will be. Transfuse is
well, you know
almost
what?
ready. Not quite.
The spine crawler is also hitting SCVs instead of Marines, so hold on. With that spine crawler going down, this looks a lot more convincing for Special. It's still very all in though, folks. Another spine crawler up on the high ground.
Transfuse is ready. Go. Once the SCVs are done, the Lings will come in, and Speed does finish, finally.
I like that he's held the Lings back through this, actually. I think that's very important. Waiting for another 10 to pop out. Yeah, forget it. He's dead. He had one chance to make this work.
GG!
GG! All right, we're going to go to commercials, like I said, guys, so sit tight. 2 minutes. We'll be back with Game 4. How can people think that if you drown them in ads, they'll buy your product? I know, right? Like, there's this logic of familiarity, but like anytime I see an ad for a show or a movie more than like twice in a row, I'm like, yeah, that thing sucks. It's gonna be so bad. And it's really in fall. Game 4. See you guys in the match. Ooh, I want to make an argument about something that was just said in chat.
Okay, I'm ready.
The player's attitude is really disrespectful towards the tournament. And I don't think so. Because you guys have to understand, first and foremost, neither Special nor Rogue were guaranteed to advance out of the round of 8. Both of them actually had pretty tough opponents. I think if they both knew, like if they were fighting the round of 8... Thank you. The bits. If they were both fighting the round of 8, we probably would have seen one of them even forfeit or opt out. And I think it would have been more disrespectful to have both of them just like not even show for the fear of like this matchup happening. They both, well not they both, Rogue more than Major, or excuse me, Rogue more than Special, have played in the Olimoleague for a long time. I think it's actually very respectful that they showed up and still continued to play, knowing that they can't go all out. So while some of you are disappointed because these aren't the most intense TVZs you've ever seen in your history of watching StarCraft 2, the reality is like they would have played their hardest had it been a different opponent, right? Had it been Cure versus Rogue, we would have seen a different series, sure. But I think what's important is like, we went over this during the break. The winner versus Zest in the finals has no chance of being a BlizzCon thing, so you're going to get a really good finals match out of this, no matter who ends up pulling out the victory.
Very low chance of being a thing. Yeah. That's a very good, like, I agree. I think it's a very good summary. So.
And the thing is, like, it's not about arguing right versus wrong. It is just something where, like, I totally understand both points of view of this. I agree with both points of view of this. But really, it's what you choose to go with, right? And I choose to believe that this is just something where, like, okay, it's a road bump. It happens. It had a chance of happening. And we're walking through it.
It's a very important thing, though, to use wording that either puts the obligation on them or on you. And to say that you're disappointed is fine. And you can't really say, like, well, stop being disappointed is something they have to do. But to say that that's disrespectful puts it on them. And then you really are making them, as you can said, like they would have just like, you know, instead left, like, okay, that's what you want to have happen. That would be even more disrespectful. So anyways, that's how it goes down. Careful with your wording. And yeah, just be happy you're seeing games. I'm still having fun with this. Like, it's not their most the epitome of their play, but it's really fun. So
I just like seeing Rogue do these all-ins because he's had... Like, if this was a more normalized game where they're both playing 20 minutes deep, there's Hive and 3-3 and stuff. The thing is, like, we've been watching Rogue do the same thing generally where it's, hey, you get so many banlings, you either win or lose the game because you overcommitted. And that's been costing him more than winning him lately. So I like seeing this other approach to it where he is going for, like, these more committed earlier builds. Not necessarily because he wants to, but it's still cool seeing him do it because it's so different than what he normally does.
Well, Rogue does sometimes have his cheesier days than others. I mean, you can always rely on this guy to have one all-in, maybe two if it goes all 5 games. But, you know, with him, I do think it's more about they're playing each other very soon. BlizzCon, the groups are not that far away, guys. It's
like, what, 2 weeks?
No, it's 3.5 or something like
3.5,
that. But
okay.
It's still pretty close. That's a few more tournaments that they might possibly run into each other again too. So this is like the only one, and it's 2 weeks away. It's getting there. Gonna start planning their travels and whatnot. Okay, I'm just gonna time that one out. So this is the first game we really don't have like a fast all-in yet. I mean, special.
Whoa! Why are you timing out that incredibly true statement? I'm a grower, not a shower, okay?
I mean, you know, you can unban him if you want. I just thought it was kind of a weird thing to bring up in chat.
Plus, his name's Hero in a Half Shell. It's a Ninja Turtles reference. I'm absolutely gonna unban this guy. I just hope I don't regret doing it.
Alright then. Alright. Okay. My bad. Anyways, so first game without too much of a weird opener or an all-in opener. But Rogue is, like, I mean, this might be the exact same he did, actually, in the second game. Nope, it goes back to the drones. Okay, then. So the Rogue to take care of the Hellions, ideally. The Queens are too busy shooting at a Liberator or something like that.
I do like the pre-pull on the drones, by the way, too, to separate them. So if they did slip by, it wouldn't get that many kills, ideally, but then he starts stacking up at the main base, and Rogue goes from handling this really, really, really well to losing 11 drones.
Yes. Special is going to take the potential counter very seriously and go for a bunker. He already has a tank on the way, so he's probably safe. But this is, you know, for sure. And I do like that, as that was quite a few roaches to see, and maybe you couldn't quite tell if there's going to be continued droning or not. We know he doesn't. So he scans the natural, You can actually literally see drones popping, which would be really nice. But again, with the bunker, the tank, I mean, he should be fine. The one thing you have to be worried about sometimes, like, is if they're gonna finish or not, but it's already done, so this is okay. That tank can't shoot from the high ground? Okay, there we go.
It's barely got range, but only on that leftmost corner of the ramp.
Well, this is a little bit awkward. And where is that bunker? Am I imagining things?
It's in BlizzCon.
Where the fuck is that bunker? I guess he counted it. He thought the attack wasn't coming when he scanned. Well, that's a little more awkward then. The bunker would have given that +1 range, so that, you know, maybe it would have been shooting this entire time. 15 SCVs go down in the mass repair because he doesn't want... I mean, he was droning, but, like, once he sees how well it does, there could have been 20 lings in the way now, and that could have been devastating damage, so... Yeah, he was probably always going to hold against the pure Roach Ravager. It wasn't... that he didn't know that was only going to be it. And so he loses 17 SCVs. He eventually loses his wall anyways. That went from... this is a good plan to... oh, that was a good plan for Rogue. Good deal.
Yeah, the +1 range is a pretty big deal. Oftentimes, a lot of people forget about that element and just think of it as like a protective source to hide your Marines inside of.
Yeah. Yeah, no, for sure. I'm sure a lot of newbies or people coming back into the game forgot or just don't know.
Well, I'm thinking more to the kind people on the front page, Zombie Grub.
Yeah, new to StarCraft. Wait, what did I... wait. You made it sound like I said something bad. Did I say something bad?
I just don't want to call them newbies. Sounds
Oh.
mean.
Does it? Because I always thought that NEWB just meant you're literally new. I never took offense to it. If someone was like, you're a noob, stop being a noob, fuck you noob, then I take offense.
Yeah. Well, the drops are not being so successful, but still getting some damage done. Specials, like 3 bases but 45 SCVs. That's not too terrible, generally speaking, but when you're comparing that to Rogue's, like, 71 drones, oh, he's gonna have to kick it up a notch. Come on, Legacy, circa 2000, yeah.
This is a decent drop. You know, there is a, there was underestimating going on here because the Ravagers are also on the front line, so don't want to get those sniped off. But did Special see that it was a Spire? Now, Cerulean's been oddly popular for Spire, and the only thing I ever said about this is that it's probably because how much dead space there is around the map, but and just like I guess there's a really decent cliff that you want to try and get the mutas to take care of the tanks. But it was not scouted, so that's like 14, 15 mutas. I can't do math. It's 12 mutas that are going to be a surprise.
It's not him doing math. It's just like looking what's in the screen.
I thought I saw 10 and then I saw 5 more, so it really was a problem of looking.
Well, the hatchery's still low from that earlier drop. Ooh. Logan, thank you for the 48 months, dude. Coming here at a good time. Hatchery goes down. And Special backs away from this. Problem is, though, while this goes on, Muta's on the other side of the map, and there's not a lot to really... What?
That takes a lot of important shots from that tank.
BlizzCon drones right there, Zombie Girl.
Medevac's going down. The tank should definitely go down, and more SCVs are going to be killed. Special's very all in with his attack, and he's put himself onto creep, which is usually terrible, but there's no banelings to take advantage of that, so it's more just about the surround potential of Ravagers, but...
Okay, I gotta say, I noticed this with the Banshees earlier, but now with the tanks, Rogue is missing a lot of corrosive biles today.
Well, they finally start hitting, and there just was too much production here, so Special's going to be one that has to tap out. He's lost 22 SCVs, he's still losing production, so even though it's 3 base to 3 base, and that's usually A-okay for a Terran player, I mean, the creep shot also wasn't cleaned up because he was such a hurt to do damage. This is looking bad for our Terran.
It's looking great for that Rogue versus Zest finals.
Yes, it is.
Of course, I gotta apologize again, guys. This whole lag thing that you're seeing, it's not my end, it's not your end, it's not Twitch's end, it's the Korean servers for StarCraft 2. So, unfortunately, Blizzard, being the small indie developers that they are, can't afford real servers. But also, neither can the Marbles guys lately. I don't know if you heard about this fiasco from last night. But they tried to... They tried to launch Season 5 and broke Marbles for everybody.
Oh, okay. That's not what I was expecting. I just like it's getting so extremely popular that I would have figured they'd eventually be like, okay, we didn't plan for this, but
It's still not even working properly now. I can't access marbles, actually. And I want to because we have the Basetradetv ball in the goddamn marbles game now.
how are you gonna make money? That's the only thing I've ever seen StarCraft 2 streams making money off of.
I know, we don't make any money doing StarCraft 2. It's really sad.
Womp, womp.
Alright, this is the last remnants of Special's army bleeding out. Even if the tanks take care of the roaches, which I don't think they will. There's still the problem with the mutas. There's still the problem with the 78 drones, and Rogue's economy is just looking too fierce. Back on the other side of the field, SCV's getting pulled. There's one with 2 Marines holding strong. GG. Rogue will eject the Rogue is the Korean server ejecting the foreigner here from the tournament.
Get out of here.
The antibodies are attacking. All right, well, folks, that's going to lead us to a best of 7 grand finals. Zest versus Rogue. Let's see how this looks. We're going to go to commercial break, and we'll see you guys in a few minutes. Hey guys, we're back. The lobby's up. It's Fracture Game 1. It's a best of 7. A lot of StarCraft 2 ahead of us, even if it ends up being one-sided, which hopefully it won't be. But Toik115, thank you for your Twitch Prime sub. We are, what, halfway to our sub goal of the day? Hey.
Are we?
Yeah, I miss marbles. Looking at that sub count, I miss marbles. Pretty fucking bad right now.
Marbles will say that.
Actually, marbles are finally working again. I've literally had this thing loading since we started the stream, and it just finally started. Holy shit, hang on. I gotta see if the Basetradetv ball's actually here like it's supposed to be. Where is it? I'm very upset because I don't see it.
It's not there. Alrighty then.
No, here it is. Wait, I'm supposed to have it unlocked for me. They said it would be unlocked for me and I wouldn't have to buy it. This is bullshit. Well, there's a Basetradetv marble in game, and I'm gonna go make some stinky noises about this later, but it looks pretty rad. It looks pretty good. Oh, they've got like a pumpkin ball now? I guess because it's Halloween.
Pumpkin. Wonder
Pumpkin
why.
shaped marble. All right, let's close that. Let's get into game. We'll see you guys on Fracture. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. I got to move Rogue's name here in the overlay, and I'm starting to struggle a little bit here, but luckily this is the finals, the grand finals. Spawning in the top left side of the map, he is the pink Protoss. It's none other than Zest.
Ooh. In the bottom right, as the red Zerg, he is Rogue. Going for a 15 hatch. He did beat out the probe though, so that might have been its only purpose.
Now the first map is selected. There's no vetoes or anything like that. But we've noted that it's a best of 7, which by the way, score is always displayed down here in the bottom left. But there's only 5 maps in the map pool. So the way it'll work is if it goes long enough, they have to play every map first. Then game 6 and game 7 can have some repeats.
Yeah.
But I gotta put a couple disclaimers here, guys. First and foremost, I'm struggling to keep this together. So if I just start muting myself for awkward silences, I apologize to both Zombie Grub and the audience ahead of time. But secondly, yeah, I'm not sure if we'll see these stutters or not, but for the last time, because I don't want to address it, I'm hoping you guys, in fact, I'm begging you guys, next time someone brings this up in chat, someone else answers that the lag, if there is any, is not on my end. It's not on your end. It's not on Twitch's end. It's a Blizzard thing, and we can't do anything about it.
It sucks. That's what's happening. I don't know if this will be that long of a series. I mean, I'm not saying it's going to be like a 4-0, but I mean, the games themselves, I feel like Rogue's still going to be aggressive, not as weird and all-in-y as he was versus Special. And you know, vice versa, like Zest isn't going to be like Special and all weird and all-in-y to Rogue, but just Rogue's a pretty aggressive player. Zest has been going for some aggressive builds against Solar earlier, and we're starting off on Fracture, which doesn't usually go to a very long game.
No, actually, I've only, to my quick recollection, I only remember seeing like one game go past 3 bases on this map.
I watched one game, go really, really stupidly long, and I think it was like Keen, and he had like the ultimate mind game versus Rogue. It was actually kind of cool, but silly. Anyways, we do have a Robo and his Valley Council on the way, so it could be a regular Archon drop. I mean, all of those the games versus Solar, he went for DTs 3 times, 2 for the kind of regular Archon drop, even though there was 2 War Prisms. And then, oh no, it goes for Dark Shrine. Okay. And then 1 was an all-in. And I guess he's really bringing back the Dark Shrine.
Cool. By the way, even though I've clicked on no buttons to indicate to do so, Photoshop is trying to open itself. Give me 1 second here to close this, guys. What? Am I getting hacked?
He wants attention.
Okay, sorry about that. Hopefully I didn't... Yeah, I was really worried about Alt F4, and I'm like, shit, I better not be Alt F4ing StarCraft after all this talk about things, but... Link sitting outside his Zest base for the time being. Won't be able to do much, but they can police him taking a 3rd, ideally.
Yeah. It's usually what they're there for, scouting it. Now, Rogue is going to see the Dark Shrine. Oh, he's actually really... Wow, he's really pressing the issue. Okay,
this might actually break in. That means Zest won't be able to go across the map necessarily as easily, as the Links do get through the gates.
Hey, it's a good map for it, and as I said, Rogue's aggressive, so going for the all-in here is hitting before the Dark Shrine. Even if it didn't hit before the Dark Shrine, as it hit like as the Dark Shrine was finishing, this is going to take so long to clean up in both bases.
So, Rogue has done enough damage to equalize this, but he's taking more. He's not done yet. He's killed 30 probes now. 9 remain. I don't care what Zest does on the other side of the field. There's no way he stabilizes this. He's almost out of workers. He's almost completely... These are his last 4 probes.
Yeah,
3, 2. He's got 1 probe. No probes.
He's desperately trying to make the DTs work, but his 4 crawler finishes up, and worst case scenario, Rogue takes the drone losses. There we go, and attacks them with the queen, and that's good enough.
Yeah, that's it. GG. Wow. You weren't wrong about that call on Rogue. Getting really aggressive there for game 1.
can I say? It's Fracture.
What can I say? I am the best.
I'm amazing. I should be hired for everything.
All right, well, whether Zombie Grub can live up to that cockiness or not, we'll have Zest picking the next map. And I mean, not to take anything away from Zombie Grub by saying this, it's a pretty easy call to assume that there's going to be aggression on a smaller map like Fracture. I just said, not to take away anything from what you just said, to give you full credit, you were right in calling that, hey, small map Fracture equals aggressive game out of Rogue, and it worked out really well for him. I don't even know if Rogue expected that to go as well as it did, to be honest.
You're doing the old, like, yeah, I knew it, I just didn't want to say it.
No, I'm not. I'm just saying, like, it. Oh my god. Yep. I had it written down here in my little build order book the whole time. Here on page, you guys probably can't read that, whatever.
No. It's funny.
All right, we'll see you guys on Cerulean Fall. I'm sorry, but somebody who is subbed to both Wardy and Zombie Grub, but not me or Basetradetv, that's the wrong scene, by the way. That wasn't supposed to be my face. As I was saying that, it's about to get a timeout in the chat. Take a seat. Gonna fart on my face. How dare you? It's such a beautiful goddamn face. All right, folks, it's game number 2 in a best of 7. Spawning here at the bottom left, he lost game 1. We'll see if he brings it back. And yes, I gotta swap the names on the overlay. It is Zest.
The top right, as the Blue Zerg, he is Rogue.
At this point, what I should really just do, I don't know why I haven't done this yet. I'm such a genius. 5,000 IQ. I'm gonna copy this. I'm gonna paste it. And instead of having to move it every goddamn time, because he moves all the time on the overlay, I'm just going to turn one on and one off. Easy.
Genius.
I'm brilliant.
Oh my god. I never thought about that.
If only Rogue would just always spawn on the top side of the map. Dick.
Yeah. He's the asshole here.
Actually, there are 2 things about watching GSL that drive me nuts. I love GSL, right? There's not a lot of complaints to be had. But 2 things that drive me bananas, bonkers, angry rage, like Hulk style get mad when watching GSL is 1, they never flip the names around on the overlay to match where they spawn on the map. That tilts the crap out of me. Secondly, health bars, but that's not as big of a deal for me. Honestly, I can deal with no health bars more than I can deal with like the names being in the wrong position on the overlay.
It's just bizarre that, I mean, the health thing, the health bars has been complained about, so it's kind of bizarre they never caved into that. It's less complained about because everyone's just been like, okay, I guess they're not changing it, but...
It's like Brood War. It's like Avalow's stream. It's the greatest.
Is it though? Is it? I don't know. I don't really get it. But then also the flip thing. So I guess less people complain about that. And before, I was forced to, you know, swap whenever I did production way back when, and you were like, Zombie Grub, fucking swap it. Right. I also did not mind it, but now I can't stand it. I can't stand when it's not flipped correctly.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, if it was really difficult to do and a hassle, okay, there's leeway. But guys, look at this. Control-Shift-X. 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 Like, it's so easy to do.
Yeah, and I can't think of any graphics that would, like, make it difficult for them either. Like, I don't...
Yeah.
We're
Sorry.
all Marge Simpsons right now.
I had to get that out there. We had a pretty heartfelt discussion between, I think, 3 of us while we were hosting GSL, talking about this moment of like, yes, you also hate this? I hate this. Let's be best friends.
Oh, Zest is seriously bringing back the Dark Templars for this. I mean, the reason why Well, okay, there's more than one reason as to why I guess High Templars made their way into being the regular Archon drop. And not just because, like, you want to get to Storm anyways, right, guys? But also because the cost difference, if you don't know, of Dark Templars to High Templars is the difference of minerals to gas. Like, Dark Templars cost more minerals. High Templars
Slightly
cost
less
more
gas. Yep.
Yes, yeah, exactly. So, I mean, you could also put in like the equation and like, you know, do the little math and be like, well, you can make more charge lots, but then if you take the gases, then you actually get more, like, I don't know. But ultimately what it really comes down to is like the surprise factor was no longer working. So it really just, I feel like it just was like, well, why not just go into something you're going to be actually using as the game goes on? But Zest is like, nah, man, bring it back every single game.
I think one of the underappreciated aspects of this, though, is like you could still use the DTs, and while it's definitely not nearly as consistently effective, we already saw it today. Like, it can pay off really well. So there's playing for the late game and there's playing for the now game, and Zest plays for the now game, and he's going in there with the DTs once again. No detection, and not initially at least. Sport Crawler's finishing soon. He's gonna try and grab a queen from this. If he gets 2 queens from this, that'd be great. I mean, killing drones is nice, but killing the queens means that you're not going to have to worry about your warp prism getting shot out of the sky, but doesn't quite get them, unfortunately.
Nice pickup, but nice stop on the killing of the queen by Rogue.
Yo, okay, this is the third guy I've seen complain. What is these static hiccups? Are you guys hearing audio issues or something? Are you hearing anything on your end?
Yeah, now that you bring it up, I am, but I always do. So I just thought it was me. So Rogue is making a decent amount of lings and roaches. He's got that roach speed, but his plan is currently to just defend the Archon drop, not to necessarily all in. These lings, maybe throwing so many zealots, could have also denied a third base, but there are that many zealots. Way so many zealots.
Okay, I've just restarted my microphone stuff. Does that sound any different or better or worse?
I mean, if I'm hearing the same thing Stream's hearing, I don't hear anything now. So I guess he fixed it.
Okay. We'll just assume it was like a loose connection or something. I literally just unplugged it and plugged it back in, so cool. Thank you for letting me know, guys. Because I have no way of hearing that on my end.
Queen finally goes down. It's really the first actual damage against the Archon drop is done. The lings were just fodder. They just died to the zealots. And now we're on to Hydralisks. Maybe Rogue will add a Baneliness. Maybe we'll just stick on those roaches. Did invest into their speed.
Thing is, though, as we witnessed earlier today, and I'm sure we'll witness here again, zealots are pretty good. We know they're really good against Hydras too, so I feel like Zest is already gonna have a nice enough army. But if this was not DTs, but instead High Templar, he'd have Storms to go in the mix as well, which would be even better. Right now, there's a very distinct lack of AoE damage.
Yeah, that is the potential downside. There's also, I feel like when the High Templar thing first became popular, there's also more like 2-base Storm all-ins, which quickly became not popular because they get overwhelmed. But anyways, like, I mean, Storm is kind of the ultimate goal, you would think, for a lot of Protosses, but not always. They don't just skyrocket right up to it. We have a lot of gateways coming down, and Zest has been rather good about those follow-ups, which he's going to go for again. Lots of zealots, charge lots, good force field usage.
Big shout-outs to Tenacious Toucan, by the way. He actually used the tier 2 sub. He is throwing away lots of money at us. Thank you.
Thank you. That's a lot of roaches on the way. They're going to have +1, and the Hydras will have range whenever they pop out. Oh, they're already popped out. There you go. But I don't know if there's enough of an army here for
Oh, that
Rogue.
was a kill, by the way, not a cancel.
Yeah, he's just about 20 supply above his opponent. Not quite, though. And that's already kind of a dangerous situation when you include force fields.
Bears and the Immortals are pretty nice, though, so they soak up a lot of that damage. And I guess if you guys are the unfamiliar type, when you see them glow white like that, it's because they get a temporary shield that grants them like 500 health, no, 400 health? No, 100, excuse me. They changed it so much, I always forget. It's a lot, though. And every 30 seconds or so, that's back up. But either way, it's not about that barrier right now. It's about the damage they bring. They're going to be shooting here for 50 a shot against these roaches.
He did lose 2 of them, though. There was good snipes there on Rogue's part. Now, there's not a lot of corrosive biles either, so the save on the Warp Prism was rather important. That means the force fields were actually contributing to this fight instead of immediately being broken down. But with this kind of surround that's going on here, the number of units Rogue was able to get, it looks like Zest's push is not going to work.
Right, losing that Warp Prism. I mean, even if he wasn't already losing momentum, that kills it. There's no warp-ins. There's no more front line. There's no micro. Zest has to walk away from this.
Silly DT is going to get a couple of kills. Well,
is he though?
Yeah, it's like, what are you doing, buddy? What are you doing, buddy?
Isn't Zerg regen so cool?
Yeah. Oh, when they pop, they make a mechanical sound?
Yeah.
I've not gotten close enough to hear that.
Some of them will catch fire, too.
I've seen it, and I've definitely heard the drilling of the drones, because that's...
Yeah, the drones are so noisy when they attack. Oh, he's not using them, but the drones are so noisy. Whoa.
That might be why he's not using it.
Whoa. Okay, so there's a contaminate on the one existing robo, but he's putting down 3 other robos. Zest has got a lot of money right now. He's very desperate to spend, but I don't know that he's going to be able to afford 4 immortals at a time.
No. And double upgrades? Is this a joke? No.
Zest, he's got bigger eyes than a stomach. That's what it is, I believe.
That's just so weird. It's the warp zones. Well, we're never gonna see if he can afford it anyways. He's gonna die soon. Probably? Probably. You should make 3 Stargates and a Fleet Beacon too. Just to get all of his reduction down before he dies.
Yeah, that immortal's just gonna move commanding as my hands are off the keyboard because I'm typing GG in the chat.
Zest, you're getting a little bopped.
Well, Rogue with a nice 2-0. That's going to be a good start to the series, but folks, we're going to go to a scheduled commercial break here. 2 minutes of ads coming your way. When we get back, it'll be game 3. Well, thank you, Zeliard, for the win. I spend quite a bit of time on these each season. So I'm glad to know you guys appreciate them. Also, Spooge McGee, thank you for the Twitch Prime sub and the grossest, most accurate description of what is happening to me in real life. I don't ever want to read the phrase green meatballs again. But spawning here in the top right side of the map. Oh, god damn it. Sorry. I'm sorry. We have the red Zerg Rogue.
The bottom left, as the pink Protoss, it is Zest. Down 2.
Yeah, Rogue being up 2 is not the craziest thing in the world if I didn't have context of some of his recent matches. Like, I really don't want to throw shade on Rogue because I'm a big fan of his. He's one of my favorite Zerg players. He's Mr. 50 Banelings, right? But the last dozen times I've cast him, he's just been looking not bad, but not good. So it's really cool seeing him be up 2-0 versus Zest like this, because we know Zest is a good player. Even when he's in his slumps, Zest is still a great player. So for Rogue to be up 2-0 right now, it makes me feel like he's definitely deserving of that BlizzCon spot.
Just Rogue's playstyle, I feel, just makes him a very on and off character, especially when it comes to online stuff, where maybe he is like
Game
the
paused.
tiniest bit more flippant. Because when he makes 50 Banelings in like the finals of a BlizzCon Game 7, he's probably like really careful. Even if he's like on 7 bases, 80 drones. He makes 50 Banelings in the same situation in like an Olimoleague round of 8. He probably just uses the Banelings. So it's like he's like that type of player sometimes. Extreme greed into extreme, suicides mode almost. And that can hurt him more than help him. But in this series, he's been rather smart. He's mostly just responding to Zest and well, I guess the first game was an all-in, but then the second game was just a smart game.
So I gotta ask chat real quick. An answer only for real, okay? I know a lot of you guys like to just type because you like to type. I think you heavy 05 for that Prime sub, by the way. But how many? If you're sick, type 1 in chat. How many people are like sick at the moment? Because I swear to God, like 5 other streamers I know, and then like Artosis, a couple other friends on Twitter, like everybody has a cold right now. And there's like this kind of joke where like, oh, it's an actual virus that goes through the internet. But I'm starting to think maybe it is. Because I don't do anything to get sick. I go very long periods of time without getting this heavily sick. But this like incapacitated me for 2 days.
I mean, can I stop casting with you now? Like, am I gonna get sick?
That's the thing, right? Like,
Game resumed.
it's called a virus, right? But surprising amount of people. Well, I guess not surprised. We got like 4,000 some odd people coming in. Some from the front page. Like a lot of people saying they're sick in chat. So get well soon, bros. I wish it was like the chicken pox. You get a cold once, you'll never get it again.
Yeah, if only that worked. Anyways, so Rogue 1 for 3 bases, Zest 2. Zest has been doing his Dark Shrine thing. He did open up at least once or twice with Stargate, so I wonder if he's going to change it up. Probably should. It's down 2-0. Probably haven't downloaded enough RAM.
Gotta go download more RAM.com, dude. I need these guys to sponsor an event. I've downloaded so much RAM from this website.
Are you afraid of the supposed super flu that's on the way?
Yes and no. Super viruses and super drugs, everyone talks about all the time, but I don't know. I believe in antibiotics and I believe in science. I feel
we're talking about the same thing, right? Where like the fact that science has done so well means that, virus strains get bigger and badder.
Yeah, and antibiotics create more resistant strains. But what I'm saying is like, you're never gonna have something that, this isn't like a Dragon Ball Z problem where there's an infinite power cap, right? Like you're still gonna be able to beat this super flu whenever it comes and surfaces.
Well, I think yes, you're right, but also I think the point that everyone misses, who's like, not everyone on the internet, but a lot of people, probably not going to be the first ones affected by something like that.
What if the anti-vaxxers are actually saving us?
Oh God.
Because they are getting the super flu and dying with it.
Oh. No, because they're also spreading a lot of really bad diseases to people who aren't quite vaccinated yet. No.
I'm just saying, like, on an Earth this flat, there's only so many.
Good Lord. Oh, Lordy. Look, we're not using the proper terminology, but y'all know what we mean. Just stop splitting hairs. Doctor terminology, fancy words, etc., etc. Anyways. Darktron again. I am surprised. I know Zest has, he probably feels very comfortable with this in the mid game, and I'm certain he saw where he made mistakes that he could make up for in this game, but I really thought he was gonna change. I thought you could change this.
Before we get too off topic and back to the StarCraft 2, which I know, right? Do you watch Mr. Beast on YouTube?
No.
Okay, he's like this guy who's known for doing these crazy, stupid things, donating tons of money to streamers and blah, blah, blah. He did this thing where he sent 2 of his people to, like, this one part of Africa while he went to this one part of Hawaii because they'd be on opposite sides of the Earth. And they're, like, gonna prove that the Earth is flat by, like, putting magnets on each side. Oh, is that game? That's game. Oh, my God. That should not have happened. And everyone knows it, including Zest. God damn.
Go on, Rifkin.
Like, legit, I'm very shocked that just happened. He got really greedy going for that one Dark Templar. If he had just let it die, the Warp Prism wouldn't have gone down. Yeah, he would have had to warp into another DT, but that wouldn't have been game. That shouldn't have been game. So everyone who's upset that we're not commenting on that, be more upset that Zest died, because like that should not have been something for us to go over.
That's amazing.
Anyways, but yeah, so he's got these people in Africa on this like exact geolocation that's supposed to be like the exact opposite spot of the world of Hawaii, and they take these 2 super magnets and they're supposed to like via phone call sync up, putting them on the ground together. And if the Earth is flat, then like the magnets would connect, right? Obviously it didn't work, but I love how far people take this flat Earth thing. I'm at this point now where I don't know if there's any actual flat earthers and it's just all memers memeing about something so stupid.
Now I know this story. I'm not sure to respond to this story, but now I know.
I don't know how this story will serve me going forward in life. A small anecdote, perhaps, the next time this is brought up.
I mean, it's cool. This guy sounds like he's super rich.
Yeah, he
people.
This crazy shit, dude. Warp prism pickup range reduced so queens can interact with the prism. Hey, Mana, how you doing, man?
That was Zest's fault, though. I mean, let's be real.
Yeah. If only Mana brings up a good point, though. If only warp prisms had more range, but only if queens had more range. Oh shit! This is like the immovable object versus the unstoppable force. No, it's not even close. All right, let's hop into Lost and Found. We'll see you guys in game. All right, we're back into it, and I gotta swap things on the overlay again. You swap spots, but that was a quick click, easy peasy. Ladies and gentlemen, we're in Trouble Town, because in the top right, he is on his last life. Can't afford to make any more mistakes. We got the pink Protoss Zest.
In the bottom left, as the red Zerg, he's Rogue. Who is this weak Protoss? He didn't look nearly as weak versus Solar.
And he looks pretty buff in real life. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I have a gigantic picture of him in my room.
I thought you were gonna say Crush, and that would have been fine.
No, I went with the fact. I guess they're both facts. I got the GSL versus the World banner that they had.
I went to Kinko's to get a giant picture of Zest printed out.
No, the GSL banner that was hanging for all 8 or whatever how many players there were for GSL vs. the World.
I don't know, but go on.
Okay, well, if you panned around like the studio, there was like gigantic banners for every single player with their poses, and I got Zest. Fear Dragon got Neve, I think.
You know, it's actually funny. Tempo and I were having, because Tempo joined me this weekend for some casting. We were having some nostalgia about Hell Spook Time, and we both at the immediate seemed to be like, "Do you remember when like Seed was a super baller, and was just like making out?"
Oh,
like
yeah.
we're just all hanging out. We're like, "Where's Seed? Is he okay?" We look to our right. He's just like making out with girls. Like no big deal. Like it's just Seed being like a super player.
And do you remember what Huck did?
Yeah, Huck being a super dick. But I was gonna say, like, I'm surprised we've never actually heard or seen stories of like that with Zest, because Zest is, like, jokes aside here, he's just classically handsome.
Yes, yeah. There's not really a lot of like real arguments to be made. Of course, people can have their opinion that he's not like as handsome as people say, and that he's not their type, sure, but like, it's pretty classically handsome.
He's just very good looking, objectively.
I mean, it's like one of those things where, you know, there's always those rumors of how like cool and popular StarCraft was back in the day, that you'd see like, you know, Idra go up to this room with like 5 girls, and I'm like, you know, I was waiting to see one of those things, Driftkin, is, you know, I got popular and we got into like the cool scene, and I never saw it. That was the closest thing I've ever seen, and it was one girl. To be clear, guys, I know he's kind of girls, but like it was like, oh, whoa, hold the phone. Someone's making out with someone. Once at a party. Oh Jesus! So I don't know. I feel like it's not the same Korean after parties for like Zest to be able to do it. Although he has been overseas. He's either too drunk to do anything, I guess, like at Home Story Cup.
I was
he's
surprised.
Too afraid to get drunk at all.
It was in Toronto last year. We learned how lightweight of a drinker Zest was. I had to take him back to the hotel. Remember, after like a couple of drinks.
Well, apparently that's because like I think that was the Home Story before, so not the one that he won on the beta, but the one before. He like, the story is he got really drunk. That's the story. So he was like, I don't want to drink anymore. So I guess he kind of became like a lightweight, like I got becoming a lightweight too, and I'm like, I don't want to do this anymore. Anyways, that's the beautiful anecdotes. Nothing's happened in this game, so no War Prism was lost to tap out.
Just occurred to me, but where do Phoenix actually fire those lasers from?
Their butt.
Like, it comes out of this blue circle on their side, but they just seem so inefficient.
I don't know. Brain after parties are more about the drugs. I feel like there's a joke I'm missing in there, because that's just absolutely not true.
Dude, when we went to that one, when we were in Korea, right, it was like the ASL after party or something, where we went up to the top of that mall with a Toastless and Tasteless.
Oh, they're really.
And it was just chicken and beer everywhere. That's what it was. It was just like plates of chicken and lots of beer.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's the sickest after party, to be honest.
Yeah, super cheap soju. That's the way it's at, man.
Well, these Phoenix are grabbing some of the queens, and I guess enough overlords have gone down. I didn't even catch this, but it's supply block rogue, which has been a bit of a problem. But then good guy Zest helps him get unsupply block by killing the queens off, so hey, what a pal.
What a bro. Lings it into the main, get some nice scouting. There was a third base down location, so I don't think this wasn't the best time to scout. Maybe a bit later, moving a lot of gateways, maybe a bit earlier. But I don't know. Point is, he got in there, didn't do any damage.
How many overlords is that total on? 7. That's a lot. That's 700 minerals. Even if it's not in the context of overlords, that's a lot of resources lost over something that should have been more preventable, I feel.
Rogue's really not having the best game right now. Certainly not comparable to the last 3, and definitely not the last one. But it's still workable. He's going into a Spire, which is really... It's bold to do it against someone who's already on a Stargate. You know, the chance that they scout it maybe is a little bit higher. Phoenix can accidentally go into the drone line. They don't usually deep dive to see it, but it could happen. And then they could just start making Phoenixes again, in which case you're gonna want a lot of mutas
He is still
Or
not seen it, by the
at
way.
all. Yeah, okay, that's not too surprising. But I still feel like this is already a solid setup for the Protoss.
I don't know what that clip is, the grassroots link, but I see myself, I see MC, and the title's MC on food. I believe this is the clip where MC claims he likes cock.
Oh. Oh, okay. Well,
Man, I'm so sad that you weren't part of that, because I know you were busy like actually casting, but MC and MMA
Was
at
I, though?
Austin was like the best thing ever. I will never have a better time in my StarCraft career than spending time with those two, honestly.
I definitely wasn't casting, but I get your point.
Were you not casting at Austin?
No.
No, that's right. You were doing the interviews is what you were doing. Forgot.
Yeah. Yeah. But I think everyone got your point. So the Spire is normally not for mutas, and that's a good thing, even without it being scouted, I think. Because I feel like you have to have like a lot of mutas pop out at once, and then like hope to cancel or kill the pylon, the powering the Stargate, for them to be really that good against someone who already still has 5 Phoenix. But Corruptors, we'll see what he can do with that. They won't be taken down by the Phoenix, not easily. And they do have some useful skills in the whole peeing on buildings thing.
Yeah, like, is he just coming up here to split? Because the thing is, there's not really any anti-air, so you put 2 Corruptors per building and everything here's going to die.
So he does specifically target the pylon powering the Stargate, and Zest should be like a little worried about that, because what if Rogue wants to go back on mutas? It's very old style, but it can work.
I'm so not convinced by the way he's used his Corruptors here. If it kills the Nexus, that's cool, I guess. That's a base dead, but he still has to somehow hold back on his side of the field, and the Archons, the Zealots, and heck, the Phoenix too. This is just like a little too much. Not a lot, but just like very barely too much.
Yeah, it's a lot of very good units against what Rogue had. Now he's starting to get a bit of a surround, and the War Prism could be targeted by the Corruptors as they come back home, but they're not targeting it. They're just going for the Phoenix. I guess it's, both are important things to take out, but there he goes. The War Prism's a little more important. Is he gonna hold? Maybe, just barely. He's got 14 more Roaches on the way. No, I think he holds. I think Rogue holds.
This is still a really interesting position to hold from, though, right? Because he killed a Nexus on the other side of the field. That's really going to mess up Zest's economy. And in fact, quick look at the income. Yeah, oh man, it plummeted.
Well, I guess that's true. But even with that Nexus going down, it's still 2 base to 3. Now it's going to be 3 base to 3. Rogue isn't really using 77 drones ideally. No, it's a very interesting position. You said it right. Oops. That's a couple free Corruptors. They did their job, it looks like. The Nexus was not necessarily their job, but they came back to kill the War Prism, they killed the Phoenix. I think they're donezo. I think the Spire is kind of done with. Maybe, again, you could try and surprise them with a Mutas, but it would require quite a shock.
I was so very prepared for this to be the Zest getting his point on the board. Like, go to game 5 type thing. But he didn't actually, like, his damage was good in terms of, like, trading out with an army, but it didn't hit the drones, it didn't hit the hatcheries. It didn't hit him where it hurts.
Yeah, it just hit that one hatchery, which was easy cancel.
It's crazy that these guys had such an income difference there, considering when you look at the actual units lost, like 1 probe, 3 drones. Like, not actually that much worker damage on this game, but I mean, a Nexus is still a Nexus.
Yeah. They both were cut short on their proper saturation, and ends up, 3 bases is still better than 2. But now Zest is caught up. He's going on a 4 bases to 4 on like really high probe counts, so it's looking good for the economics of our Protoss. The composition now is a little bit weird. I'm gonna guess he has more stalkers than he would really like at this late into the game, especially going up against what could be lurkers. But he wanted to make sure he could take care of the Corruptors, and there were no Muta transitions if it was going to turn into a base trade. I'm guessing. Stalkers aren't bad, and they're going to have +3, so actually their weapon damage is quite good against these Roaches. But it's usually not what you want the later the game goes on.
Oh, if he snipes this Robo, that's nice. That's a really big deny on a very important unit being produced against what what Rogue has.
It's a good snipe.
God, there's so many sentries. A lot of energy.
Yeah. Well, he never went... Wait, no, he did go into Archons. Just wait. One, though.
This is actually so sick. Sniping off that Rogue is a much bigger deal than what is for what's at hand. Look what's going up next. Rogue's moving towards Lurkers. There's no immortals. There's no way he touches those lurkers.
Well, can he get to the lurkers? And there is one observer at least in this army. Ooh, that was a lot of that was a lot of lanes to decide there.
Yeah. +3 weapons on these are helping tear through anything they get to connect to. So having to kite in the main means you get to spend a lot of micro, which means you're not necessarily engaging this army correctly. Force fields come down, and Rogue is stuck kind of out of position. He can't deal with it. The Warpins come in once again, and these are too many zealots.
He's finally splitting his army, but he had to cancel his 5th base, which I think he had to do anyways. His lurkers were not quite done. A couple more lurkers are found morphing, but I know he has some finished. Or maybe those were the ones that were morphing. Wow, it took a long time. Only 2 of them. 1 of them is going to live. 0 of them. Uh-oh. Zest could maybe do it here. Drones are being pulled to help out. He's already lost so many to the main base harassment.
I think Zest is broken Rogue at this point, which I didn't think would happen. There's so many Hydras out. They had +2 weapon upgrades, but none of them were properly, like, he had to segment the wrong units to the wrong places, and that Warp Prism, man, if there's like 3 Hydras on that cliff and denied that Warp Prism, I don't think this game looks like this, but I think Zest has got it.
Or if all of the lurkers were able to finish. I thought he was buying enough time with the attack on the 5th base and then the cancel. If he had made them behind the hatchery instead of in front of, it could have been very different. There's not many units left over, and a difference of 5 lurkers would have been huge. But he also still would have been cutting the economy, and it would have been still a Zest favorite game. Now it's even more so. Zest not having the best ability to reproduce, having lost to that robo, and I guess he really need to add more gateways. He's gonna go up to 5 robos? No, okay, 4 robos again? That was his only robo. 3 robos it is then. Okay.
So that's a pretty excessive amount.
Obsessive.
Eh.
Yeah.
I'm still worried though, because Rogue is coming with an attack that looks oddly familiar to that 16k blur that we saw earlier. And yeah, Lurker's Burrow on their front line. These Templar are almost ready to cast storms.
Oh lord.
10 seconds to go.
There's gonna be so many storms. If they actually get them, there we go. Man, that was so much gas to have killed. Like, imagine if all those lined up to lurkers.
Right.
Oh my god, Zest has brought this. Zest is totally dead. Oh, but he still loses Nexus. This is a really important point for Rogue, who's down on economy, and his army should not be as good as Zest given about 30 seconds here. The immortal count's gonna grow so fast. Oh, maybe the storms.
What's gotta be so frustrating is knowing that, like, you really need those immortals, so you can't justify canceling them to get an observer out. The one observer that is out comes over. Now you can see that army. He will take the fight, and Rogue will finally tap out. GG.
All right. He's not going to go out with the 4-0.
Sucks for me. I'm gonna be honest, I was kind of hoping to end my misery off of that one, but guys, we're gonna play a commercial break, and I'll see you guys in 2 minutes as we get to another game ASAP. Hey guys, we're back for what could possibly be the last game. I'm going to be kind of tossing this off to Zombie Group, though. I'm choking on every other word right now, so take it away, Zombie Group.
Okay. In the top left, as the red Protoss, he is Zest. Am I observing or you're observing?
Would you rather observe? I can put the camera on you.
Sure.
I'm
yeah.
fine observing. I just can't talk as all, so whatever you want.
I'll observe. In the bottom right, as the blue Zerg, it is Rogue. And that was a much more interesting game, I think, than the other three. With the War Prism causing an instant GG, first map being an all-in from Rogue on the smallest map pool possible. The basic stuff. Last game, there was a few things that could have gone very differently. The Spire potentially not scouted. I do still contest that it was a very risky thing for Rogue to do against someone who had not lost any of his Phoenix and still had a powered Stargate. But he tried to make the best out of it that he could. And if the Corruptors had found the Warp Prism, or he had simply 10 more Roaches, 15 more Roaches, it would have worked out really well. Snipe the Nexus, don't take nearly as much damage on your home base. And then the next attack after that, the Lurkers, 15 seconds faster, already in position, maybe totally fine. But it is what it is. Rogue takes his first loss in this series, but being up 3-1, and technically with all of the losers' picks now, I guess in his favor. Although we're on the last map after this, anyways. Wait, no, this is the 5th game, isn't it? We're on the last map. This wasn't even chosen. This wasn't even Rogue's choice. But it does reset for the next game, so yes, it is definitely an advantage for Rogue. Gets to pick the rest of the maps. Is it possible to get a caster's game tournament? U2, Tempo, Wardy, TCU is the best place you'd be a caster. Winner hosts a marble game? There's a lot of, I think, things wrong with that question. Of course, I'm not the person who does Basetradetv, so I can't ask. What?
I'm the best caster. We don't even need to have a competition.
Okay. Yeah, I was just like, I'm confused, but what do you mean by a best caster? Do you mean like a best player? How do you judge a cast? It's, very opinionated. Not all of us do marbles. At least I don't. Like, I don't know. A lot of things. But I appreciate the question because I got to buy some time. There's not much happening in the early game. It is a Stargate, and I want to note here that as soon as I stop doing this Dark Shrine shenanigans, he won a game. So maybe it gets better from here on out. This Adept's going to be focused on scouting how many Lings are available. He really wants to stick around. No second Adept, though, to really threaten the drones. And so far, it sees a normal amount of Lings. Going up to 4 more, I think Rogue is preparing for the worst. Are there going to be 2 Adepts suddenly instead of just the 1? But it also sets him up to kind of patrol and catch any supremely fast third bases, which aren't the norm anymore anyways in this matchup, but still could happen. 330 Nexus used to be the thing to do when you went for a Stargate opener, and 14 Lings would probably cancel that. Yeah, that deserved a timeout right there. I think server purged that one. Yeah, a little weird. It's, yeah. Anyways, so Lair's on the way to completely normal time. Zest is following up, as he seems to like to do, with what I expect this time to be a Templar Archives Archon drop. He's going up to 5 gateways? Okay. Yeah, I think so. I think that's what it's going to be. And this will be like the first time today we've seen him use a Templar Archives for his Archons. Everything else has been Dark Shrine. Or I guess just not opening at all with any Archons. Oracle almost dies. Not as almost as the last few, I guess. 1 HP has kind of been Zest's thing in some of these games. Templar Archives is thrown down, but so are more gateways. So we'll see how much he commits to this, how much chrono goes into that charge. Is it going to be a very dedicated attack with charge lots and Archons? Or is it going to be more about the Archons and just you take the Nexus and you also continue probe production? Maybe a total of 6 gateways. I'm gonna guess it's just, it could be a threatening attack. Ooh, this didn't go so well. Could be a threatening attack, could be just something that Rogue's already prepared for, but Rogue's not going for a Roach Warren, so he's not like playing a super safe game. It's right into Ling Hydra. He gets the cancel on the pylon, whatever, you know, next off, so it didn't come down, and got a lot of kills. That was a worthwhile trade, I think, for the Lings. Now, he doesn't have any scouting on the Archons being morphed, which is a little unfortunate. They maybe could have been surrounded. And he doesn't have any idea about how many gateways are in the main. And now he has Hydras out, and he's getting kind of a safety spine crawler, which I obviously don't mind. But does he have strong enough units? If there are charge outs coming in with this, and charge is like 25 seconds from finishing, this could have been a doozy. But the charge outs aren't ready to go. The third base is coming down, and pro production has restarted. Storm is even on the way too, so that's a really big signifier that it's not going to be too committed. There'd have to be a very open opportunity for Zealot warp-ins. And he's going to go to the main, which he might think is a good one. This charge literally finishing right now. But I don't think it's worth the investment. He agrees, so that's just going to be normal production for the third base. Take what you can. Hydra is still a little susceptible to dying to those Archons. They can, you know, always threaten the Warp Prism, especially if the range is done, but also not that healthy. Could happen. Overlord goes down. Transfuse on a Hydra will end up dying anyways, and that's the... I mean, you consider how costly it is when those Roaches take that huge splash damage, and, like, you know, a couple of them go down. Well, the Hydra is even worse, right? More expensive units, and you really are trying to get, like, a decent number of them and then go all the way back into those Ling Baneling. That Ling Baneling production. Speaking of which, Baneling, that's on the way. Storm's almost done, though, and Zest is looking kind of pretty on 3 bases. Looks pretty on a lot of bases. But +1 melee. That is a... I mean, he didn't go for +1 missile. It's kind of just like a later upgrade, but it is timed out with Zest's +1. I mean, part of Rogue's army is going to be upgraded, and eventually he'll get that +2 melee to make the Banelings really a threat, but it's pretty far off. You also have Overlord speed, so you might see drops later on, or fake drops, or something along those lines. It's Parasite as our, you know, kind of quote-unquote final map choice, not final game, potentially. So it was forced on them, but is the longest, biggest map that we have. Makes sense that we would have probably the longest game we're going to as well. Last game was kind of long, but it was really scrappy. War Prism goes and sees the 4th base. Might get a couple of drone tags at the 3rd. Quick Scout and Rogue on the 4th base timing of Zest. Yeah, the drones are going to have to be pulled away here. Lots of hatcheries coming down here. Rogue didn't only go for a 4th, he also went for a 5th and a macro hatchery. All around the same time. Trying to bank quite a bit. Probably also going to see a few more drones on the way to really round out what is going to be a very powerful economy. And the goal of Rogue is probably just going to be what Rogue does best, which is attack from multiple angles with mass amount of Banelings and the economy to back it up. If Zest can disrupt that economy with some double Warp Prism harassment, which would be really cool to see, then Rogue is going to have to be a lot more choosy how he takes those engagements, or just not take them at all. But we all know, I think Zerg wants to end ZVPs before the Protoss gets to, well, God forbid 5 bases, but certainly to that late game max out army. So say that harassment works, say that Rogue is at the, you know, he can't actually break Zest on 4 bases. I don't know how eager he's going to be to get to Broodlords. I don't know. I want to say, though, you know, we watched his earlier ZDP with Zest, and his game versus Solar, I felt like he had it pretty well won in the super late game, or it was going to be a super late game, and then he ended up not winning anyways, so I know Zergs would like to end it before that late game. Doesn't mean that they're bound to lose a late game situation. Anyways, lots of spine calls coming up as he prepares for the War Prism harassment. I think he saw there's 2 of them. Pretty sure he saw one and then the other. So, yeah, literally. Still has an Overseer tag in it. Okay. Oh, Zest is the one that's moving out here, but his army is very small. So much of it is in over here. He's actually just split his army in half, and then he has a couple of units, never forgetting the War Prism, which he's going to go ahead and recall because it can no longer escape. Nice scout potential, too. That could have been a Hive and a Spire Scout. It's still a lair and just a stack defense. But this is usually what we see the Zerg doing at this point, splitting up their army and attacking from multiple angles, and it's Rogue who has to defend. But it also means that Zest has to control what is already I feel like a hard army to control, to make sure it doesn't get surrounded, to make sure it doesn't get surprised on. Now he's the one attacking, which usually puts you in the worst position. I mean, these Banelings I feel like they're bound to connect with the High Templars, but so far it hasn't happened. Rogue having a difficult time choosing where he wants to kind of send those in, and every time he tries to send them in, they're getting stormed pretty effectively. So finally his army breaks through at the cost of a lot of drones. This base is entirely dead, but there's still another base mining, and after losing 24 drones, Rogue is still on 60, so it's still not a bad situation for him if he can continue holding on. More of the Protoss units are coming forward, but this might be an overextension from Zest. He has that +2. Rogue still only that +1, +2 almost done for him. Oh, that would have been really helpful. But I think this is just a little too much for Rogue defensively. Now starting to target down the Warp Prisms. One went down, the other one... Wait, no. Did one go down? I guess it didn't. I was looking at something else. Unless he had 3 and I'm crazy. But anyways, I guess 1 to Warp in, 1 to Micro. That's actually perfect. A couple Banelings finish up. Very helpful with these small amounts of Zealots coming through. The drones are being pulled. He already lost quite a few, but he could replace this as long as he gets Zest off of his back. And he finally does that. Warp Prism goes down. Other one escapes with, what, 2 Archons in it? That was all of Zest's army. Whatever he's, I guess, producing back at home is very small, and he has to get back into that Warp Gate production. Rogue, having taken losses to his own, economy and his own army is definitely something we have to consider, but he currently has a slightly bigger army. All of it's together, too, and he's chasing down the Warp Prism, which had such an important key part of that small army supply, just instantly gets taken down with another shot taken. Archon, shield batteries, cannons seem to be enough of a defense, though, that Rogue decides it's not going to be a good counterattack opportunity. He's going to pull back, maybe replace some of the drones. Looks like he already has. He was down to 60, and he's back up to 71. And since he's still on 4 bases, this is still quite a good situation. Quick check of the income graph, which I know you guys can't see, but yeah, it's been spiking, but generally in Rogue's favor. We do have those drops that I was mentioning way earlier on in the game. I thought it was going to be just like a kind of a calm game, and then Rogue was going to be the one to really put on the pressure, but it was the opposite. And now it's Rogue finally being the offensive one out on the map. But maybe I spoke too soon. Is Zest now just a ton of Archons, a couple of Storms. How is Rogue's army going to deal with this? The Banelings actually do try to run past the Archons, but that was always a bit of a... that was maybe not ever going to work. But the Hydras on the backside, they were originally going to be with that the Overlords, which are also kind of in a lot of position, were kind of perfect. Soak up some of the Storms so that the main force coming from the front ends up taking out all the Archons. Lings go first around. They finally have the +2 melee upgrade, but now the Zealots and Archons do have that shield. It's still going to go in favor of Rogue, who also cleans up the attack over to the right side without losing too many drones. Things seem like Zest, like he really wants to snowball this. It seems like every time he sent units across the map, if this was Fracture, it probably would have snowballed. But since it's Parasite, he's just a little bit too shy. 1 less Storm, 12 less Zealots, 2 less Archons, whatever. And at this point, Rogue with a 5th base and his drones now mining from it, he is not going to die to what Zest has. Now, this could be a game where Zest, he says, okay, fine, I'll chill, and he gets another good army, but oh my god, we have 17 Lurkers on the way. And I don't think Zest has really been... He didn't go for that triple Robo again. No, he's still only on 1. We're going to have a problem of Observers and just straight up an Immortal count. I don't think he deals with those Lurkers. Oh god, he's going up to 20 Lurkers. I think this is when Rogue's really going to start to collapse in. Zest's going to try his best to continue buying time, hoping that the Lurkers don't, engage him. I don't know if he's scouted them yet, but he's got Zealots over the right. He's got a Warp Prism that's about to scout the Lurkers. He's going to see, he's going to see all of them. That's not a pretty sight. I guess the prettiest sight is that they're on the wrong spot, so in a way it's okay. But the Zealots are taken care of mostly off to this base. This attack decided not to go in. Warp Prism went into the main. It was tagged by 2 queens, but oh, you fat lady. That second queen could have really helped. Hyde is going for the dive, and they get the Warp Prism kill, but this is still a lot of Zealots with that 3-1, 1 being the shields. But oh my god, there's actually so much going on. Okay, so Lurkers at the 3rd base of Zest, Lings in the natural, and then more Lings in the main as the Overlord drops end up being successful, but we have more harassment going over here. They cannot deal with the Lurkers, but they're chopping up the drones super quickly. This is going to take down a lot of tech structures. If the Hydralisk then went down, the next target would be, I think, the Lurker Den, but he's not going to be able to get to it. And then there's still that problem of can he even deal with the Lurkers on the ground? They're dealing so much damage to the army. The main army that pushed into the 3rd base is taken apart mostly by the lurkers. Only a portion of them, by the way. We still have 14 left over. Zest is making this a very scrappy game, and he does have his 5th base up, but his economy is still getting ravaged. Rogue sitting down to 48 drones. He's now going back to replacing them, and Zest is going to tap out. They both were around 100 supply, but Zest very suddenly dipping down below 100, below 80, below 70. Figured he could not replace that army, and I don't know if that's actually the case, but I think the Lings are still ravaging his bases, so he really felt like it was going to be too much, and that is game. GG.
That's the series too. 4-1. Rogue over Zest. Don't at me, bro.
That was a pretty sick final game. At least Zest kind of got to make up for that stupid War Prism in the 3rd game.
Oh, I caramba that thing. All right, guys. I got to give a big thank you to Zombie for covering that last game. I didn't know if there was going to be a lot more if that was it, but my throat is shot. So we're gonna wrap things up here. I will say really quick before we say our goodbyes, I will play one less set of ads, so if you want to help us make like $1 or $2 at most, I would love if you could stick around and watch them, but I'll go first just so I can get my voice done. Guys, there's a lot of content coming up, and I'm hoping to be more recovered for it. There's a couple of days break, which I've kind of left here intentionally because I'm still healing up, but someone asked earlier about seeing our schedule. I don't have a public thing to share with you. What I can show you is a rough draft of the document so you guys can take a peek at what's coming up. And I mean, I'm flying out to Chicago just before the end of the month, then I get back and I do TwitchCon, BlizzCon, that whole circuit, but there's like a ton of content between now and then. These have been posted on our player only Discord. You guys are seeing this publicly first, and I'll post them later, but we got basically 2 weeks solid of Ting qualifiers and Korean content through the Olimoleague and Crank's Team League, so we got a lot of really good shit coming up, and I hope you guys will join us for all of it. But yeah, as far as like, is there stuff happening? Yes, a lot of it. It's just different time zones. But yeah, thank you guys for watching today. What was really cool is we had some front page time, but we've been off the front page for a while. One of the things I see on Twitch all the time is like somebody goes on the front page and they got like 7,000 viewers, and the second they're off the front page, they drop to 8. We fucking rose to 4K, and at the end of the broadcast now, as you guys are leaving, 3,520 is what my dashboard says. That's really fucking cool. So thank you guys for sticking around and watching the rest of it. If you enjoyed it, I do hope you hit that follow button. Other than that, yeah, just thanks for watching. Zombie Grub, send us off.
Alrighty then. You can follow me on Twitter at ZG Gaming, Twitch, Zombie Grub, YouTube, Zombie Grub. I will be streaming probably a little longer today just because I want to play more Final Fantasy Tactics. That's what I'll be streaming today. And then I will be back on a different channel. So it's, Basetradetv TV, and then it's my channel, and then it's Ballistics for the Ballistics Brawl tonight starting at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Thank you all for watching. Please hit that follow button, follow the channel, follow everyone on the channel, including the channel itself on Twitter, and we will see you guys later. Bye-bye.
Actually, we're going to do something different. I said I was going to play commercials, we're not. Guys, there's a streamer who you probably saw me fawn over, and most of you will not give a fuck about watching this particular streamer, that's fine. But do me a favor, let's do a raid with some hearts for Sky, because she actually hosted us a pretty significant amount of people the other day, which was really cool. So, you've probably seen her stream before. We're going to go host her here real quick. Just spam some hearts in the chat. That's all I got to ask for. So thank you guys for watching today. I'll see you later. Have a good one. Bye.